You know,
being here. What's up?
I was thinking about something.
What are we thinking about, bro?
I was thinking about what's going on in the earth, right?
What's happening in our minds?
Yeah, and I wondered, why does it matter?
We're about to find out.
Holy shit. Ready?
Just kidding.
Welcome to Earth, Mind, and Matter.
Da-na, da-na-na-na. We never done it before, right? Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Some fucking
Comics.
This week in the universe. Across the internet.
Da, da, da. So what's up?
So Javi,
What's going on, Frankie?
we just covered the fucking intro.
We are now cover artists.
We're gods. We're gods. This is a very, very special night.
I feel like I have to keep that in that.
Please do. I feel like I never thought about that, but I think this is the perfect episode because last episode was what, the 21st?
Mm-hmm.
The podcast just became adultish.
Yeah.
And I'm drunk as fuck right now. So with the 22nd, it's like a little like metaphor. Well, what is the metaphor?
You're like a dad that's come home to his kid after his kid has turned 21
And after
but missed it by a year, and now they're 22.
And after the dad's had a long bad day, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing?" And he's just taking off his voice. He's like, "Hey, son." They talk with the same voice.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I mean? It's a very special night. It really isn't. It's pretty much Sunday.
Well, it's special Sundays.
Special Sundays.
Alliteration. Are you a snake?
No, I'm Jesus.
What the? So are you calling Jesus a snake?
Because when Adam ate the apple, no, who ate the apple? Eve.
Fuck. Who was it?
Who ate the apple?
What?
Eve.
Oh man.
Woman. No, just kidding. Just kidding. She was actually non-binary.
Oh, so wow, that really changes a lot in like everything, don't you think?
He didn't know Adam.
Oh,
But she didn't know either.
so how did she not know that, or how did they not know they were non-binary?
Because Adam doesn't see color.
What?
You know what I'm trying to say? Whenever I can't answer the question, that's all you're going to hear. I don't know if I hear it in the mic or if I just hear it.
I
in the mic.
hear it, yeah.
All right, nice. We got a special guest.
We do.
Alcohol.
Mr. Jameson himself.
Mr. Jameson, triple distilled. And actually, Brian, our actual special guest. What is it? If I'm going to read the title, right? It's a Jameson established 1780 triple distilled smooth Irish whiskey made the John Jameson way since 1780. Irish whiskey produced product of Ireland, John James Smith. What does that mean, Brian?
It means there's some good ass fucking whiskey.
Nice.
Enough said.
That anybody that gives a long explanation than that, they just compensated.
Yeah, they're just using big and long words. It's
reason.
filibuster.
Filibuster. It's Gancher Troubadour.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a real word, right? If I were to make up some shit.
Oh, okay. So that was a made up word.
No, I don't. Nah, man. Nah. Anyway, what are we doing today, Javi?
I don't fucking know, man.
Me neither, man.
Like, because like I'm not drinking, and I feel like
Oh, you're sober. You're high.
I'm high.
You're high.
But like I feel like we're on two different levels right now.
We are on the different not spectrums. But what is it? Sobriety levels, right? Marijuana, alcohol. All right. So I'm drunk. Javi's high, and Link is laying next to me. Link is Javi's dog. If you're a first time listener, Link is Javi's dog. And he says, "Frankie, you are drunk, so I'm gonna lay next to you peacefully to keep the peace." And I got a lot of stories for you today, Javi. But
Yeah.
what are we doing? Did we say that already?
No, we haven't.
So what are we doing, man?
We're on the earth.
This is what's in our minds.
This is why it matters.
This is Earth, Mind, and Matter.
Welcome back to the show, folks.
Welcome back to the show. And if this is your first time listening, welcome back to this episode.
Yeah. And, you know, we had last episode come out on a Saturday, you know, Saturday morning cartoons.
Woo!
Boom, man.
And it was a new thing for us because lately we've been fluctuating the uploaders, was like, deal with it. Like, I don't know what else to say. Deal with it. And I mean, it's been a crazy week politically.
Yeah.
Crazy week politically.
Yeah.
We got fucking Beavis and Butthead. The movie came out not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Damn.
I didn't even know that.
It's Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Nice.
Mike Judge.
He's still doing shit.
Yeah, man. It really actually wasn't recent, but it was like recent in terms of lifetime. But Beavis and Butthead is awesome. We talked about Turnstile last episode.
Yes, we
That's
did.
a badass album, Glow On.
Yeah, we did.
And I referred to the Beavis and Butthead Hank Banging.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. I still love that album. I actually got drunk the other day and I got home and Beatrice was there, right? And so I was like, bro, wake the fuck up, man. It was like 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. and I wake her up. I'm like, yo, wake up. And she's like, I'm like, wake up. And she's like, And I'm like, you gotta listen to this shit. It's crazy. And I play the album from my phone right next to her ear.
You're the worst.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But she's so sweet because she was like, this is so good. And I'm like, right. And she's like, yeah, but I'm like, I'm not even awake. I'm like, but listen though. but listen. And she listened. But when we woke up in the morning, she was like, that was actually pretty good. I'm like, you're not lying? She was like, yeah, I'm not lying. That was pretty good. And I'm excited to go see them in concert, man.
Yeah, man. It's good. Did you get your ticket officially?
I'm going to soon. I just needed to make sure she would want to go.
Okay.
She's letting me know soon, but regardless of price, I'm going.
Nice.
Anyway, all jokes aside, in all seriousness, we are on Earth, Mind, and Matter, one of the best podcasts in the world.
In the universe.
In the universe.
Come on, man.
Sponsored by?
Today we're sponsored by Dallas Arboretum.
Nice. Oh, my hat. We are. It's a what's it called? It's a garden in Dallas. Very nice. And we're also sponsored by what are we sponsored by? FIFA. Powerade and FIFA. Because only the best players in FIFA drink Powerade.
Here. I'm gonna give it for the camera.
Okay.
Just a good old sip.
Demonetization in 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, that shit came out in the mic. Just for the record, Javi took a sip of blue Powerade and the gulp came out on the mic. And if you're still listening, thank you, because it's been a very radical night. And I got a couple topics for you, Javi.
Okay.
Very interesting topics. So, anything else you want to say before we start?
I got a few things I got to say actually.
How many things exactly?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 12.
12. Say them. I'm gonna count.
Okay. All right.
I'm counting.
1. My foot hurts.
Which foot?
My left.
All right.
2. My left eye is twitching.
Which eye?
I just said my left eye.
Okay. All right.
3. I think I'm having a stroke. 4.
Okay.
Flubber.
Flubber, like Rob
5,
Williams?
Flat.
Did Rob Williams shoot himself or hang himself?
He hung himself.
That's crazy when somebody hangs himself, right? Like, how do you do? Anthony Bourdain hung himself in a hotel room that he was like, what are you doing? And Chris Benoit hung himself after he killed his wife and kid, right?
That was just a wrestling move.
It was the life taker. All right. After you got like 9 more, bro.
Yeah, I said Flubber and Flap.
Flubber and Flap. Flapjack, the cartoon.
No, just Flap.
Just Flap, like the Onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
I'm also thinking about my comic, making a lot of good progress on that.
I like that. Because
Good
you've been
shit
making.
on
You have 11 pages left.
10 pages.
Check out Ruby when it comes out.
Yeah, it'll hopefully be done by the end of by next summer.
Javi M. Ruby. Check it out. 2023.
Yeah. And let's see what else.
What's up?
Ooh, look at the sticker. I'm thinking about Batman. Batman's so good. Batman's fucking dope.
Super good. Super great. The movie was fantastic. I never seen Ben Affleck Batman though.
I mean, to each his own.
The best thing about him is Jennifer Lopez.
Massaging her butt.
Basically. All right. What are you up to? 6 or 5?
I'm on 7.
7. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I told you a lot of things to say.
It's a crazy day.
I'm also thinking about this ashtray. You know who got me this ashtray? Shout out to Melissa, who now has a broken foot.
Wait, the Melissa we know? She's a broken foot? Melissa, if you're listening? No, I'm kidding. Okay, what the fuck? I didn't know she had a broken foot. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. But it's a good ashtray. I almost dropped it, but it didn't fall.
That was a noise.
Yeah, it has equilibrium. Not like her foot. Oh,
damn.
Nah, it's too close.
Rest in peace, her foot.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Okay.
I
gotta know what happened to her foot later, though. Later, we don't want to reveal too much information for the insurance. For the insurance.
But I'm also thinking about the fact that I'm happy I filled up my water before we started the episode, so I didn't have to run off and do it in the middle of the episode like last time, like an asshole.
And I got my sponsored by Essential water bottle right here, and I have two.
No, I don't want to be sponsored by them.
Essential's nice.
I'm more of a Smart Water kind of guy.
Smart water I fuck with a lot, but you know what I don't fuck with? Fiji. That shit tastes like ass.
Fiji tastes weird.
That's the cum of water.
You know what I say? Like mango nectar is mango cum.
Mango nectar is good though.
Yeah, and it's like mango cum.
I mean, yeah, because pollen is like flower cum, right?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. You've won this battle, Javi.
So, I'm always down in some mango cum.
All right. What else?
I'm glad that inflation hasn't hit Arizona cans yet.
This is 9. No, it has though. I've seen Arizona cans for like 150 or 125. Huh? Depends on the state, just like abortion.
Damn, correlation. We need to find a Venn diagram.
A Venn diagram? Just like ovaries, right? There's 2 of them. And then the one thing in the middle. Or uterus or whatever.
We can use the fallopian tubes to create the circles.
I like this. Supplementary. Check it out next week. I mean, Arizona's a little more important than abortion, no?
It would depend.
Not the state.
If you asked
kidding,
middle school me or present day me.
You thought juice was more important than women's rights?
When I was in middle school, yeah.
Nice. I agree with that. Freedom of speech.
And you know what? But present day Javi, he's like, you know what? Arizona could go up 150. I can survive that.
You can say that. Fuck that. Arizona juice, iced tea should always be 99 cents. Always be 99 cents.
Don't be greedy.
You don't be greedy. What did you go to? That's 9, right?
That was 10.
So what's 11?
11. I'm just gonna do this. 11
from
Stranger Things.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I think you meant the Twin Towers.
Nah.
I'm sorry. Please, if you're listening, don't tune out. We got like a lot of juicy topics.
Guys, I had a lot to say. I have a lot to say.
And you got 3 more topics.
One last thing. Well, can you count?
No. No.
Okay. Okay.
Last topic.
The last thing I want to do is just shout this out. Spelling isn't a part of grammar.
You don't think so?
It's not.
What's more important, pronunciation or spelling?
I mean, spelling, pronunciation, grammar are all separate. So I wouldn't say one matters more than other. Mm-hmm. I think they all equally matter. So
you're saying that somebody who's dumb, like the people that can't speak, pronunciation doesn't matter, but then spelling, people that don't have hands, they also can't spell.
So what topics do you have today?
This is Earth Mind Matter. The most sophisticated show on the internet. We have 13,000 fans. And it's one of the best shows on earth. So anyway, I hope you're still listening, because I know people that are tuning in are like, damn, Franky's so interesting. I'm Franky, by the way. This is how
we did that at the beginning.
I know, but we do it again right now because you know why? Jameson triple distilled whiskey Irish. No. All right. All jokes aside, my 3 topics today, I mean, I literally researched them today, but I went hard. I'm not going to. I realized that the best way to do this show is to really go hard with the research. I see that you've been doing that lately, and I don't want to let you down today, right? So I have 3 really interesting topics. And the first one is Pornhub accountability.
Pornhub accountability. The second one is, and if you've heard about this recently, the Biden administration lowering nicotine levels in cigarettes, and Juul is recently being federally banned. Okay.
And my third one, all jokes aside, seriously, with the Roe versus Wade going on, I wanted to discuss the consequences, not the consequences, more so just the realisticness of abortion, why people get them, women especially, and like people in the past who've had them and been convicted of them, all that stuff. And for those that are new and still listening, surprisingly, just kidding, you better be fucking listening to this shit. We got
Frankie's holding a gun to your head right now. He's
I'm
like,
holding a gun
listen
to our guest
shit.
Brian's head right now, to his liver in particular, because we've had so many beverages together. But we have an A.M.C section for later. We'll save that for later. You could probably read it in the description, but I'm pretty excited for this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. But I wanted to do something kind of fun. Actually, I'm gonna say this. So before I came here, I was supposed to come here sober, but I came here drunk as fuck. And out of the whole conversation that I had at that bar, I'm not gonna expand on it. It was pretty exciting. But the one thing I heard is something interesting. And you know how we always say universe shit, right? What movie did you see yesterday?
Top Gun.
And how did you see it?
I saw it in IMAX.
So at the bar that I was at, I was chatting with people, as I love to do. And really because of my good friend Brian right here. Brian R. Can I say your last name or not? Robles? No, Brian Robles, Robles. Motherfucker is my friend for life, and Javi is too. But we were talking and chatting. I was speaking to this record label producer or some shit. Random as fuck. That's some LIC shit, right? But at the end of the day, what I want to take from that whole conversation is that we were talking about Top Gun. And I was like, I've never seen it. But we were talking about the Mets also. Did you know this? The last time, and I knew this, the last time the Mets won the World Series was 1986.
Oh, wow.
And Top Gun,
came
the
out
first
in
one.
86.
And so we're talking about Top Gun Maverick, and I was like, oh, I'm about to bet my whole life savings on the Maverick. I'm down on the Mets. And then that was just cool. I couldn't believe Link is still, Javi's dog is still laying next to me, and I feel like Jesus Christ. Now, before I go into the Pornhub, into the Juuls, into the abortion, I saw a topic that I wanted to bring up as one of my topics, but I was like, nah, man, this is just funny. So I'm going to read about half the article because the rest of the article is just annoying.
Okay.
But, okay, you ready?
A little bonus topic.
A little bonus topic, basically, because I felt like it came out 2014, January 11th, and it's called quote, Swiss cheese pervert, unquote, terrorizes Mayfair.
Okay.
And usually, you know, we actually go down like through the whole article. We pick out the good parts. But I have to read this full through because it's just so silly. So I'm going to be kind of quick with it, but I'm going to read it. This is the beginning article. Police say a man with the, quote, major sexual cheese fetish, end quote, is exposing himself to women. The gentleman prefers blondes. This guy prefers Swiss.
What the fuck?
As in cheese. The kind normally found sandwiched between corned beef and rye and Reuben. But this particular man is using his dairy products to satisfy a different craving. The Mayfair Town Watch reported yesterday on his Facebook page that the Swiss cheese pervert has been terrorizing neighborhood women. According to the group, the suspect, a heavyset white man, of course white man, estimated to be in his late 40s or early 50s, approaches women while driving a silver or black sedan with his genitals exposed. The nuts. He then displays a piece of sliced cheese and offers to pay the woman to put the cheese on his penis and perform sexual acts on him while using it.
Okay.
I'm almost done. And it says, quote, I understand that people may think this is funny, but this is no laughing matter, said Milt Mutterlack, the Town Watch's senior advisor. Quote, we've had a couple individuals reach out to us. We're taking this matter very seriously and we're working vigorously with police to get this guy off the streets. A police source yesterday confirmed that the Special Eviction Unit is investigating this man after several women from the Mayfair area filed reports describing similar encounters with the man, displaying what the source called a major sexual cheese fetish. And although the news of the bizarre case shocked many Mayfair residents, Gabby Chess, who lives in nearby Bridgeburgs, recognized the behavior pattern instantly. Okay, so hear me out, because right now it just sounds like some weird guy who wants to fuck cheese, right? And at this point, I was going to end reading the article because I was like, this shit not interesting. This man is just weird. But then it's like, look, listen to this, man. It gets funnier. I didn't think it would. In July 2012, Chess, then 19, and having just broken up with her boyfriend, created a profile on the dating site OkCupid. Sponsored by OkCupid. Within days, she said she was contacted by a really strange guy who sent her a private message that detailed a very specific request. He said he was looking for somebody to perform masturbation on him with cheese. He kept saying how strong his urges were and how desperate he was to find someone to help him with them. And then this is what got me laughing. He said, I started to compare girls to cheese due to their milky complexions. Girls are small, soft, smooth feeling, and tend to like dairy products. That and typical advertising, always using a girl to advertise dairy products. So cheese is what I started to use as a replacement for having sex with girls. And then he got deemed the Swiss cheese pervert. And then, I mean, it just got funny, man.
Dude, this guy's sick. What the fuck?
This guy is not lactose intolerant.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. I was like, what the fuck is happening here, man? And then as soon as I kept reading the article, I was like, maybe I shouldn't do my whole article on this. But at the end of the day, I'm motherfucking liking cheese like this. I mean, God bless him. You know, not really though.
Comparing women to cheese for their milky complexion. What the fuck? Like, you can't fucking make that shit up.
You can't, man. And when I found the article, it was giving me like the you know when the websites give you that little caution sign, like you're visiting a bad website. Mm-hmm. I was like, am I being lied to right now? Am I being lied to? But I wasn't, and this is a true story. You can look it up. Whatever I said the title was earlier is, and yeah, man. So what's your thoughts?
That's fucking ridiculous, and it's gross, and that guy has issues.
Yeah, man. But if you want to come on the podcast, please contact 874 555. No,
I don't want him on the show. He can stay away from my cheese.
What's your favorite type of cheese, Javi?
I think it's either got to be Swiss or pepper jack.
So Javi likes white or Latina girls. Psychology said.
What the fuck? All right. Well, wait, what origin is pepper jack?
I mean, it's a little spicy, but not too spicy. What would you say, Brian? What ethnicity would you say pepper jack cheese is to like ethnicity?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think it has to be like those spicy Europeans, you know, like the fucking
Spaniards?
Nah.
Yeah, because I feel like it has to be like European or something, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but like not fucking England.
They
don't use salt.
All they use is egg and toast and beans. Nastiest shit I've ever had in my life.
The spiciest things about Irish people is their language. You know?
So I think it would say between either Irish or Turkish.
Ooh. Okay.
Turkish. Whoever they are. All right, but damn, bro. What a ridiculous way to start the episode. Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets,
man. I'm happy I didn't smoke the weed, because if I smoked weed, I would have been off it. But I'm probably gonna smoke weed when I start the nicotine part.
Okay.
Because it's very crucial. Well, now let's get to some real news, right?
Let's do it, my guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually hold on 1 second. Count it down, Brian. Javi.
1,
2.
I counted 1 second.
You mind doing this for like a couple minutes, man? Sideways though, sideways. However you want to do it. So what am I doing? Brian's going live right now on Instagram.
Okay.
But when you do it, put it. You can delete this part because this is irrelevant to the Spotify users. But put in the caption like at Earth Mind Matter Pod. We gotta get more followers on this motherfucking podcast, Instagram wise. So, all right. So now we're back to the news, and we're talking about. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, you have 1 viewer right now.
Nice. So we're gonna talk about Pornhub accountability.
Okay.
Now, porn is a very interesting thing in the world, right? Because everybody here has watched it. And if you haven't, you're a liar. And I used to have a lot of friends that have been like, I don't watch porn. I'm like, yeah, all right. Do your thing. But this story was very interesting to me. And as soon as I, you can end the live as soon as we finish the story topic. Yeah. But as soon as I saw this topic, I thought it was very like crucial to talk about it. Just because it was very interesting. You know, I love the rowdy news. Now, I'll go into it now. So Pornhub is one of the most visited websites in the world.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know that. Recently, it had gathered 14 million videos, both professionally and user-generated. and it's owned by the company MindGeek. MindGeek. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you know that, Brian? Yeah. Can I take a shot with you? Oh, hold on. So MindGeek is a company that owns Pornhub, and keep this in mind, it also owns a company named Trash Junkie. What do you think Trash Junkie is?
Sounds like a game company or something like that.
Not close, but it's like an ad company.
An ad company?
So that comes up later. So now, about 2 and 3 days ago, it was announced that CEO Faraz Antoon and COO, which stands for Chief Operations Officer, David Tassilo, resigned from MindGeek.
Okay.
Right? They've been with the company for more than a decade. But they've resigned after the Daily News has had an, quote, 8,000 word investigation report published in the New Yorker, which I read, and this whole story is based on Monday, alleging that the company has failed to address where videos featuring underage and non-consenting individuals are uploaded.
Oh, man.
So now it gets like, I know this has been my topics that I've been bringing up, but I couldn't stay away from this one because I feel like it's interesting. Now, to go on to the CEO and the COO, MindGeek, they claim this. They claim it has implemented some of the most extensive safeguards in the history of the internet. It went on to cite a National Center for Missing and Exploited Children report, which concluded Pornhub had few instances of child sexual abuse and that it removed all the content, including that, in the shortest amount of time after being notified among all major platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more.
Okay.
So it's getting a little interesting because ultimately what we're talking about is Pornhub, and they're uploading, and their users uploading people that are young and underage, and even like when we get really into the story, like people that are being raped and like underage and really like low level shit, like some real terrifying stuff.
Man, I wonder like how difficult it is of a job to work at Pornhub or something like that, and to even try and filter through all of that,
monitor everything, right?
Yeah,
you're about to find out. So the way this article in the New Yorker, and the New Yorker is the main article. I really apologize for not having the person that has wrote the article and all that stuff, but I'm gonna have it at the end. But a 30-year-old man had been arrested in Florida for lewd and lascivious, lascivious battery. Know. He done goofed of a 15-year-old girl who had been missing for nearly a year. Her family had found an opportunity 58 videos of her on Pornhub and other websites. The company said that it removed the content as soon as they were notified. But mind you, I know I'm sorry my words, I'm drunk. Go fuck yourself if you don't understand me. But she was 15 years old, and her content of sexual activity was uploaded on Pornhub.
Yeah.
So that was removed, but only when the company found out that it was uploaded in the first place. Mm-hmm. So that's a little fishy in general, right? Now, companies like Heinz, what do you know Heinz as?
Ketchup.
Ketchup, right? And Unilever, what do you know Unilever as?
Oh, like a lot of things.
Like, shit, you know what the Unilever is? I didn't.
I know that Ben and Jerry's is a part of them. For is one company.
I didn't know that either. What the fuck?
Yeah, Unilever owns a lot. They own like soap too and shit like that. Yes.
So Unilever is a British multinational consumer goods company with headquarters in London. Their products include food, condiments, ice cream, cleaning agents, beauty products, and personal care, and is the largest producer of soap in the world.
Yeah.
So you knew your shit. Ben and Jerry's motherfucker over here.
They taught me a lot.
Their products are available in 190 countries, and their largest brands include Axe, Lynx. Oh shit, Ben and Jerry's, and I read the fucking article.
This fucking guy.
Dove, Heartbrand ice cream, Hellmann's, Knorr, Magnum, the condom or the ice cream, Rexona, Life Buoy, whatever. Anyway, so Heinz and Unilever have been having their ads on Pornhub, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been critiqued. And again, like I told you, what they just are, they make Dove. They also make Dove soap, Hellmann's mayonnaise, and on Pornhub they promote mostly Dollar Shave Club.
Okay,
which I'm sure we've both heard of, right? Javi and Brian. Yeah. Right. So now I'm curious to ask, like, what do you think about advertisements on porn websites?
Well, I mean, I kind of see it as like ads on like any sort of other website. Yeah. It's just take it as you will. They're needed for websites to run. That's how they make profit, and that's how they're able to survive and keep going. But ads also still really fucking suck, and they're very almost perverted in their own ironic way.
That's actually a good ass point you just made. Like they kind of like budge themselves in there without you wanting them.
Yeah, and it's just and especially for younger people and stuff, like ads can be so bad for a young mindset. With this whole idea of like, especially like the ads that you might see on Pornhub of like, oh, dick pills and shit like that and whatever. It's like, man.
No, that's right, because it's like to a younger audience, it's like saying to you, you are not the standard, what the standard should be. You know what I mean? Or this or that.
It's just, you need, like, telling kids that, like, yo, man, get these pills, your dick will be massive. All
bitches will love you.
Like,
give me some knuckles. Well, it's true. And I mean, regardless of just Pornhub, like, and this is a funny issue to talk about, but it gets real fucking crazy because, man, this article was like 1,000 pages long. I was reading, I was like, oh my God.
It's like a manifesto.
Yeah, pretty much. But you're absolutely right. And regardless of just Pornhub infiltrated ads, it still goes to the point of just advertisements find their way in any crevice of free uploading, especially YouTube. That's why I pay for YouTube Premium, because I hate ads.
Yeah, I have Premium.
Yeah, you ever have somebody, let me show this video, and then it's like, yo, buy a Nerf gun. It's like, no, bro, just show me the fuck, use my YouTube. So aside from Unilever, who promotes and has Dollar Shave Club, Heinz, the ketchup maker, they also have ads on Pornhub.
They also make beans.
And they also make Capri Sun.
Well, no, Heinz also make beans.
And Heinz also makes Capri Sun.
Oh, they also make Capri Sun?
Isn't that crazy?
What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. A bunch of semen in your Capri Sun. And
a bunch of beans in your Capri Sun.
At what point they had a campaign on Pornhub that said #food porn. That's pretty appropriate, though.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense. So the spokesperson for Dollar Shave Club said it promotes to Pornhub because, quote, it has guys' backs. And I just realized how funny that was, because when you think about it, like back hair, but also like pornography, you know. And Unilever, that has Dollar Shave Club within the company, said that it would distance itself from advertising on Pornhub after this whole like article came out that they advertised on it, and that Dollar Shave Club has independence to say such things and do such things, even though they were unaware of it. But Unilever is still this big like umbrella over these companies that are advertising where they choose to. Now MindGeek, back to MindGeek, because MindGeek owns Pornhub.
Okay.
And for every guy listening to this, MindGeek owns Pornhub, and we don't really consider who owns what company in terms of like, not even just Pornhub, but when we look at like Xbox, and you were telling me about the like Blizzard and this and that, like there's a lot of like tracebacks to what really does exist with companies. Same thing with stakes. What do you mean by stakes, Brian?
So stakes means that you could own a percentage of a company. Like LeBron James owns
Liverpool, right?
Liverpool, he owns 1%. He bought it for $6 million. So his return profit right now, he bought it in 2016. He bought it for $6 million. Right now it's worth $100 million.
Oh wow!
My dumbass thought he meant steaks like red meat. So I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
You're a fool. You're a fucking fool, man.
Sorry. I love steaks. MindGeek. The company employs around 1,600 people, and the online platform it owns, which include Pornhub, RedTube, YouPorn, and Brazzers, received approximately 4.5 billion visits each month in 2020. According to the company spokesperson, and this really blew my mind, that doubles Google and Facebook combined.
Yeah, I mean,
it's porn, it's sex.
It's porn.
Yeah,
like,
but
porn,
it's still pretty crazy.
Runs the internet, but like porn has created like some of the high tech and innovations that we've seen in history.
But I also think this otherwise. It's not porn that has done that to people. I think that people have sexuality within them, and I think that there's this misconception that only men look at porn. I don't think that's true.
Oh, I mean,
I think women and men and non-binary and this or that watch porn every day of their lives. You know what I'm trying to say? And
I mean, definitely, it's just obviously like the stats don't lie that more men do watch porn
That's
than
a fact,
women.
though. That's a fact.
But it's Yeah, like fucking porn has created some of the greatest things in tech.
Yeah. It's
like,
amazing.
People have done so much just to jerk off.
I don't know if this applies at all, but my drunk ass, nature versus nurture. Does that make any sense?
Nah.
But think about it. It's like sexuality is within us, right? And the nurture is kind of like the websites that provide us with that, like, you know.
I mean, I guess if you put it more in the aspect of like for younger minds, like who grow up with porn, like versus
meaning everybody this day and age.
Yeah,
but even then, like before the internet, what did they have? Playboy, Hustler.
But those are also feel like more difficult to get. Like every kid has a fucking.
But they got them.
Yeah, but you have to like it's always that idea like oh my dad's Playboys or something like that. Hey, so it's like. Every kid has a phone and they can just load up Pornhub whenever they want.
But what about like people in the 20s just want to look at some titties? They just look at some titties.
They probably go to the fucking like showgirls, like
artists that just draw titties and like, oh my god, that's just crazy.
Honestly, it's probably harder to see titties back in the 20s.
I don't think so, man. I think
20s.
What would you see? If you're from the 20s and you're alive still, you're 140 years old, please come on the podcast.
And don't show us your tits.
Please don't. Please. Show Brian your tits, but not us.
Basically, I saw an X.
You saw an egg? X? That's a great movie. X with Kid Cudi in it, produced, but that was a great movie. And I will say to this day that Evil Dead is a product of X. Seriously. And I've only just watched Evil Dead. You were a big fan. I really think, and that's just my impression as like a new viewer to Evil Dead, which is a fucking fantastic movie. And even Evil Dead 2, even though I gotta give it like a little like, I think that both those movies are just beautiful. And man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that like this podcast has allowed me to watch both those movies because that was awesome. And so now I'm going to continue with the porn story, and it does get more dense because now I know, like, porn is funny, ha ha ha, sex is funny, ha ha ha, but it's also taboo in America. In Europe, not so much. Europe is more so freeful in terms of like sexuality, sex, all that stuff. Now, MindGeek is registered in Luxembourg, but its main office is in Montreal. Around the 60s and 70s, there was a lady called Tracy Lords. Basically, she was in a bunch of like XXX films, like, porn films and stuff. But later it was found out that she was 18 and before that underage.
Oh, man.
So, like, all her films have been like, but she's been in the movies, cult movies such as John Waters' Crybaby, Nowhere, and Blade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Blade is a good movie. So in 1988, Congress passed U.S. Code 2257 requiring producers to document that their performers were 18 or older. So that's a good thing,
Yeah.
But today, and this is a quote, MindGeek relies on the same legal statute that Mark Zuckerberg cites when defending Facebook from charges that it allows proliferation of disinformation, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996, when I was born, which states that, quote, interactive computer service, end quote, cannot be treated as a publisher of information provided by a third party. What this means is that when tube sites are confronted with complaints about videos depicting rape, sexual images of children, revenge porn, and other content uploaded without consent, they can claim that they are not liable.
Right, because it's sort of like a free speech kind of platform idea.
You used our tool to upload your stuff.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, but it's kind of funny because when later on I'm going to talk about the Juul and nicotine thing, and this all transfers over to the Juul thing, which is funny.
For a second, I thought you said Jew and nicotine thing. I was like, damn, what the fuck?
I don't even know if Jews smoke like that. But if they do, przepraszam, czy miał to rozmawiać to my Polish
Shut the fuck
up. Anyway, this is really weird. You remember the Buffalo shooter? Anybody watching right now on this shit?
Right now, Scooch.
Nice. What's up, Scooch? So, the Buffalo shooter?
The one that recently happened?
Yeah. He left an 180-page document as a shooter that was racist as fucking Buffalo. But he included a rant about the harms caused by pornography and a list of executives at MindGeek. And Pornhub Interpol's... Basically, he basically included executives at MindGeek who own Pornhub, and Pornhub Interpol's with anti-Semitic imagery. So that's actually kind of interesting that like he would involve that because he planned out to shoot black people at a supermarket regardless. But he also involved like anti-Semitic speech. And I remember a long time ago when I was by Columbus Circle, there was a whole protest saying that Jews will take over the media in the world. And that's just the whole thing, I guess, that just continues on with the world. But anyway, sites like Pornhub, they make a lot of money off ads.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Any site that has ads, that's how they make their money.
Seriously. And if ads want to sponsor us, but the Pornhub come through, bro. No, but this is interesting because it really gets down to like what you think as a human compared to what the actions of a website like this have proposed, right? Because often women who find videos of themselves having sex with like former boyfriends or partners, they don't consent to being filmed, or they don't even know that the videos would be uploaded or filmed in general.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they file complaints, and this is when it gets pretty serious, it takes days for responses that aren't automated and when they do respond, like actual human beings from Pornhub, they tell the woman like, "Can you confirm your identity?" And then they say after this long process that they're taken down, but then the videos are uploaded again, and they're either uploaded again in the same exact mannerism, or they're uploaded like in snippets. So they're still allowed to be viewed. And a lot of women that like have this happen to them, and mind you, this article began with the woman that was like in a pseudonym called Rachel.
Okay.
And she like was living a terrible life. Like it's kind of like that Black Mirror episode where she was just threatened to make more videos of herself sexually, or more videos of her in the past would be uploaded. And this went from undressing to like masturbating in the mirror, like, and et cetera, et cetera. But she was being blackmailed the whole time.
Oh man.
She didn't sleep. She didn't like.
Who's she being blackmailed by?
Some random person on the internet. Not even like somebody she used to have like relations with. It was just some random person.
Man, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, man. And then when her, like in the article, her mom would come up and she'd be like, "You okay?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm okay." But in reality, she was just kind of like sinking soulfully.
Man.
You know? And it's very tragic. So often the people that uploaded these like videos without consent, they go unpunished. Or when they are punished, they face only misdemeanors.
Yeah, because I was going to say, is that like any kind of like official offense at all? Like uploading this kind of stuff?
I wish I wrote down the exact offense, but the offense that is actually like they're faced with, like the like revenge porn and stuff like that, it's all misdemeanors. Which is crazy because it's like a long-term effect in terms of negativity and like, it's fucking sad, man.
You can sue for defamation.
No, I mean, to an extent. But these people weren't, because they had all the people that were like suing the ex-boyfriends and stuff. They were suing, but the most they can get were misdemeanors. That's the saddest thing about it. And they were speaking with actual lawyers and stuff like that. So now MindGeek, who owns Pornhub, again, their policies say that they forbid uploading content that features child sexual abuse, that reveals personal identifiable information such as names and addresses. And mind you, these people that I've mentioned, and I will mention forward from here on out, they've included the names of their own name, their addresses, and their children's name, and their family's names.
Wow.
So, like, they're just covering their own asses, but I'll read it again. Quote, MindGeek's policies forbid uploading content that features child sexual abuse, that reveals personally identifiable information such as names and addresses, or that is obtained without consent. Now, you were telling me that like people overview this content, right? And these people are called formatters, like FORMATTERS, right? Now they're paid. I
tell you this?
No, not. You didn't tell me, but earlier you were saying like people they have to revise these videos before they're uploaded on like a Pornhub and internet and stuff.
Oh, I was asking.
Yeah. Well, there are those people, and they're paid about $30,000 a year, and just simply what they said they were traumatized by what they saw. And they've seen videos of depictions of rape, child sexual abuse, and torture of animals. And they've also seen cases involving minors. Those videos have been taken down. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So when people are uploading these like dreadful videos, like kids and all that stuff, or rape and everything, the videos will get taken down. But a former employee said that they couldn't and didn't notify law enforcement. That instead, they said that the uploaders, that they use virtual private networks to disguise their identities and locations. So if you were like to forward that location, they would blame somebody like us, like random people that wasn't the actual uploader.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then the former employees were like, let's just block IP addresses. Let's just like stop these people from like uploading. But the higher ups at MindGeek, who own Pornhub, they said that this would discourage users from uploading. Basically, they said, you can upload as much things as you want, just take them down. But we rather them being able to upload and we take it down rather than discourage them from uploading in general. So their example was saying that you could upload a video of a beheading 100 times, that the formatters would just disallow the upload 100 times, but you're never banned. Because if we banned you, it would stop the uploading process.
I don't know, man.
That's sick.
Yeah.
It's sick, man.
Like, it kind of makes me think of almost like what Elon Musk is trying to do with Twitter and stuff, of just trying to really like make it sort of this wild west of just like do whatever the fuck you want. And
but wait, hold on.
There's a movie called 8 Millimeters, right, by Nicolas Cage, and so what he does is that he's a detective.
Okay,
he's a detective, right, and he is contracted by a rich woman to find out what happened to his husband.
Okay.
And in this deep search as a detective, he finds out that he's into snuff films. Snuff films being that you kill a person while you're having sex with them, and he records it. So it's Pornhub, right? Now, there's another movie called Megan is Missing. And
wait, what's it called?
Megan is Missing.
Megan is Missing. And
in the show, it shows about this. Literally, it's a bunch of. It's a first person documentary. Meaning by first person is that it's documented by webcams of her. So the FBI was able to pull up all the webcams that she had with her best friends and stuff like that.
Like NSA type shit.
Exactly. And they were able to put up all her webcams and stuff like that and see how she was able to be abducted. And so what happened is that she met a guy online, and this guy kidnaps her and tortures her very sexually and has ways with her very sexually. Now he uploads, as Frankie said, to a porn website. And in the documentary, Megan is Missing, they show the fact that it was uploaded.
Okay.
It was uploaded. But after, it took 2 weeks for them to find out that it was actually in the comment section that they said, like, dude, this isn't porn. This is just torture. This is rape. This is kidnapping. To the point of the fact that they had to take it down, and it took 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, people were watching this, whether it was live or the videos were showing. And again, the movie's called Megan is Missing. And Megan, the girl that got kidnapped, and I'm gonna spoil this movie because I'm gonna spoil this movie because it's so crazy, and I feel like in this platform in which you have a podcast and you have a bunch of viewers.
Also.
Yeah. No, I think that there was this her best friend who was trying to so like desperately trying to save her, trying to get information on her. She herself gets kidnapped by the same guy that kidnapped Megan.
Oh man. That's crazy. And
she gets tortured. She gets sexually raped, and there's devices, and she gets uploaded through the same profile, right? Because again, it's like you're not gonna ban the person, right?
Wow. Now,
mind you, in cybersecurity, and this is something that you could backtrack about, when it comes to cybersecurity, you could fake any IP address. That's real. Mm-hmm. Like any person that's seen Mr. Robot, any person that has studied cybersecurity can easily fake their IP location. You know, the best way, if you go to the dark web, the deep web, right? They tell you the best way to do it is to go to a cafe, use a Wi-Fi, and because nobody could track your IP, right? Because it's a Wi-Fi. You know how many people use the Wi-Fi in a coffee address, right?
Yeah.
So in Mr. Robot, the way he catches that pervert in the first episode, right? And I know I'm going like
the best episode. A lot of people like Mr. Robot. I only like the first episode. Everything else is boring as fuck to me, but it's a good show.
Yeah. So so in the first Robot, he's able to catch the guy because he was able to track his IP address. Now he's able by domain, and mind you, I only know like 20% of cybersecurity. I only know 20%. But that meaning, like, I have friends that have done cybersecurity, and therefore they're able to say, like, oh, I'm able to like hide my IP address, go through torts and stuff like that, which is the easiest way to go through the deep web or the dark web. And porn is the gateway. And when he was mentioning Pornhub, I thought back to that documentary for Megan is Missing and stuff like that, and it's saying like how they won't ban. It's like the question arises, like like people who have these desires, and bringing up the Swiss cheese man, right? Like, what if he had that?
Swiss cheese man did nothing wrong. He just fucking dairy. I feel like people misunderstanding the Swiss cheese man. If he didn't sexually assault nobody, he just fucks with cheese. Fetishes are fetishes. I just want to say that. If the glove doesn't fit, don't fuck with the cheese man.
Listen,
I don't even remember what I read from that article because I'm fucking drinking and shit. But don't you dare fuck with my cheese man unless he's a creep, because women complained about him.
I'm not trying to fuck the cheese man. All right. I don't want anything to do with that dude.
Nah, man. But no, in all seriousness, though, for the whole Pornhub thing, like, every day, and maybe if you want to do your research, if you want to see into it,
we do our research.
No, but if you want to continue it to the point where, like, even after this, go to the new uploads, right? Because in the movie Megan is Missing, they tell you go up to the new uploads and see how many women are being raped and categorized into the whole point of like, or forceful rape because that's a fetish. And then you'll see now, like, there's a bunch of women being uploaded every day through either sex slavery, whatever, modern day slavery, whatever you want to call it. But they're being raped and they're being shown and they're being drugged. It's a big thing in our culture now. And if you want to do your research, just go up to the newly uploaded and you'll see it. And I remember I did it once after that movie. And I could never go back to like porn.
You looked up rape? No, I'm kidding with you.
But after that movie, it spiked my curiosity and I did it. And I was just like, I got so horrified that like, it was just, it's like, I've seen a bunch of videos, but like in terms of like bad and like very dark videos. And like, again, like I know, like in the previous episode, you see Frankie has mentioned that he's seen guys getting chopped their head off by the cartel and stuff like that.
And if I may say, that's one of the most traumatized videos ever. Like, I still think about that to this day, and it's only because it's not like this is gonna sound wrong. It's not that the chopping of the head that traumatizes me. It's the sound of the voice of a Latino man that reminds me of my own family that upsets me. Like whenever I hear the guy screaming for his life, that's what upsets me. Because when I hear him scream, I hear my father, I hear my uncles, and my other family. If I may be realistic about it.
And but for me, when I saw that, I remember thinking, I was like, yo, this is traumatizing, so it's like literally, like, and I know as Frankie mentioned, like, everybody watches porn, but after that I really couldn't like watch anything for like a good 2 years, literally, because
a good 2 days.
Nah, it was literally 2 years. Like I really like, it was so traumatizing to the fact that I was just like, yo, this is horrible. This is trash. And
if I'm gonna just continue, so now I want to get back to Germany, right? And with Germany, so this I'm gonna just read straight off the article. Read what I wrote on that shit, Brian. I wrote that his name is Pschorr, P-S-C-H-O-R-R. How would you say that?
I don't fucking know, dude.
P-S-C-H-O-R-R.
O-R-R. Pschorr?
Pschorr, I guess. The former CEO of Man Win in Germany. He said that governing pornography in Germany, compared to the U.S., he said that in Germany they have a 24/7 hotline to like screen all the people that like do this stuff, or like when the things go live, and that he said Shore was surprised by the lack of regulation in the U.S. Quote, "It was always interesting for me as a German to see that in the U.S., you'd get ID'd if you went to a bar. If you're not 21, you get into big trouble. But if you went to a porn website, all you have to do is click, yes, I'm 18, and you're in the realm of dirt."
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting way. I don't know anything about like European porn control, this and that, but they have a whole different system.
I mean, I'm also kind of thinking about our conversation that we had pretty recently of like sort of age consent and things like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because in Europe, like the age of consent is like lower, I think, because There's this,
and Europe is less. They and I agree with this to an extent, not the age consent, but I'm saying like in terms of observing sex is less taboo, because in U.S. we are way too like stringent on like sex altogether as a subject and as a activity. I think so. But continue what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I mean there. I was just thinking about this movie. If I remember correctly, it's called Copenhagen.
SpongeBob. No, okay.
What the fuck? The SpongeBob movie slaps.
Oh, the first one. There's only one, right?
No, there's three.
There's three.
Three.
There's a trilogy. Better than Star Wars.
Hey.
Oh. But continue what you were saying.
There's this movie called Copenhagen, and it's about this American dude who's like, what are people from Denmark?
Annoying.
Danish.
Not annoying. I'm sorry, Denmarkians.
Yeah, he goes to Denmark or something like that, and he's trying to get in touch with his family. But he meets this girl this local that's kind of helping him around town and stuff, and they start hitting it off. And he finds out like, but I forget if after they kiss or whatever. But he finds out that she's 16, and immediately he's like, "Well, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
But she's like, "Hey, like this is okay here." And so the whole movie, it's like them kind of like
what do I do? She's 16.
The whole movie is just pretty much that. It's just like the two of them together.
I think of Little Miss Sunshine. I don't know if you ever saw Little Miss Sunshine.
Nah, I missed out on that.
May I spoil like one scene only?
Okay.
All right. So it's not. I'm not complaining about it because it's a comedy, right? But Little Miss Sunshine includes Steve Carell and some other people that are famous. Mind you, I think that movie's good. I don't hate on that movie. And if I was some liberal pussy, I would be like, oh. But I always think that there's a scene where basically she does what like that show Toddlers and Tiara does, where basically it has a young girl dressed up in a bikini or like a very suggestive outfit dancing in front of a stage of people.
Okay.
And to me, it's like when I saw it, I was more so just. I was like, hey, this is whatever. Like it was done comedically, so it's kind of funny. But I never thought Toddlers and Tiaras was a good show in general, and I thought it was kind of horrifying. And even that concept that you kind of hate on religion. People hate when women dress not as a woman, but they let their fucking 10-year-olds dress in like bikinis and do suggestive dancing and stuff like that. It's weird, but Little Miss Sunshine has a scene like that. And again, I think it's a funny scene because it's done comedically. And like if you're getting mad at comedians, you're the problem. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I seen somebody that we all know complain about comedian Ricky Gervais for making fun of trans people. And it just sounds like Dave Chappelle making fun of trans people. And it sounds like any comedian making fun of anything. Obviously they're joking, And instead of getting mad at your actual politicians and involving yourself into changing the world, you're getting mad at entertainers that are just trying to make light of a real situation. That's just my opinion. But I digress. But if you wanted to say something, I'm gonna continue this.
No,
yeah. That was a b-hole if I ever said so. But Ricky Gervais is a funny motherfucker. Chill the fuck out. Anyway, do you know what Exodus Cry is?
Exodus Cries? Nah.
So they've taken aim not only at non-consensual pornography, but more broadly of what it calls hashtag this world, quote, porn culture, unquote, which it argues, and I agree, leads to hypersexualization and objectification of women and makes sex trafficking and other crimes more likely to occur. I agree to the hypersexualization and objectification. I don't agree to the trafficking stuff, and you'll see why later. Now, mind you, this is Exodus Cry, right? They seem to have making a good point. Now, let me read you this. Exodus Cry is a Christian nonprofit advocacy organization seeking the abolition of the legal commercial sex industry, including pornography and strip clubs, and sex work, as well as illegal sex trafficking. And it has been described by the New York Daily News, The Wrap, and others as anti-LGBTQ with ties to the anti-abortion movement.
Okay.
Very interesting, right? So the same people that are saying, hey, fuck strip clubs, fuck porn, they're also saying, fuck gay people and fuck abortion.
Yeah.
So when do you draw that line of saying, hey, like, what do you advocate and what do you not advocate? Now, in March 2020, members of the Canadian Parliament asked the government in a letter to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to investigate MindGeek, the Pornhub owner, right? And then launch a parliamentary investigation. And MindGeek registered for the first time with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and turned over more than 13,000 videos of suspected child sexual abuse material on my phone. Most major tech platforms are already registered with that organization, NCMEC. Facebook made more than 20 million reports to the agency in 2020, and MindGeek hired the law firm Kaplan, Hecker, and Fink to conduct a review to that company to build a stringent content compliance program.
Okay.
Right? Hold on, let me put this shit right here. They can't. You want to hold it, or should I put it right here somewhere? We holding a phone to Instagram Live. We got like one viewer, but it's good that people see this shit. You know what I'm trying to say? Because all the viewers, as far as men come, hey, like somebody waved this. Shout out to Ashley. Everybody watches porn. You know, if you don't, you're lying. I'll put it right here. Let's see this glass.
Okay.
All right. They can't see nothing bad. I hope it's you. Now, on December 14th, MindGeek announced that it will require users to verify their identities through a third-party website before they uploaded videos, and that it would disable millions of videos from unregistered users. In a blog post, the company argued that its policies were now more stringent than those of all its peers, including Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
Okay.
Now, this is where it gets a little, like, kind of too dark. A woman by the name of Beth was raped by an uncle when she was 10. She found those same videos of that rape 2 years later on Pornhub.
Oh.
A woman by the pseudonym of Caroline spent 2 months begging Pornhub to remove videos of her sexual assault at age 15, in which she was screaming and had a bloody nose.
Wow.
30 plus women filed to ensure the regulation of adult sites like Pornhub, hoping that they would make the process more strict and safe. But the judge said they must file individually. Visa, this is the last thing I'll say because this is a long story. Visa and MasterCard, they said, we're not going to fuck with Pornhub no more, right?
Okay.
And they said they wouldn't conduct transactions on Pornhub anymore. But Traffic Junkie, who controls the ads like Dollar Shave Club and Heinz, they still work with Pornhub. So when you go to Pornhub and you want to use MasterCard or Visa, you can just go through Traffic Junkie, which MindGeek owns, and still use Visa and MasterCard.
So it'll still get accepted if you use it on Pornhub.
Yes. Basically saying that we're not going to work with them. We're going to work with a different company, which is owned by them. And then you can still use your Visa or MasterCard through Traffic Junkie.
I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like, how do you prevent, how do you even just completely block transactions from an entire card on a site like that?
I agree. And now I forgot to ask you this because I didn't want to, I forgot what I did. Like for me, it was this, like, do you disagree with advertisements being on like adult sites?
I mean, I disagree with ads in general.
And ads in general, but advertisements are allowed to be on any site, no? Or is that like what you think they aren't supposed to do? You want to put the phone right there? But like for me, it was that like people promote sex workers all the time. So I feel that it's the dirty bunch that's blurring the actual, if that makes any sense.
I mean, what do you mean by that?
It's the pedophiles and the abusers and the domestic violent people that are worse than the people that actually make money off Pornhub and like other sites, aka people that are using sex like strippers and prostitutes and this and that people usually advocate for. You know, it's like cops, right? Cops, there's like the shitty cops that ruin everything for all the good cops. So do we take down? Because one thing that I was reading is that if they took down Pornhub, they would make a lot of sex workers lose money. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the people that are suing, even the ones affected, are saying, we don't want to take down Pornhub. We just want to really get rid of the ill motherfuckers that are ruining everything and make rules more stringent for the ones uploading.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the solution is to get rid of Pornhub.
Yeah.
Like, and again, like I was mentioning before, it kind of makes me think of like Elon Musk and Twitter again, of just kind of like how it's this controversial like platform at this point where it's like it's free speech, but at what cost?
But that's what I think about the statues getting taken down, because it's like it's concealment of history, but of what cost? You know, like at what cost do you not want people to understand that this has happened in the past? And for some people, for not knowing that this has happened in the past, won't that cause it to happen again?
I mean, I think a concealment of history isn't necessarily in line with like with say girls' videos getting uploaded onto Pornhub or anything, because that's happening now. That like these people are being affected by this stuff like in the present.
But what about the Larry Nassar guy that we spoke of like 2 weeks ago? He was abusing gymnastic girls then, and they've changed all the rules for it not to happen again.
That's he started then, but he continued all the way up until he got caught.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what's in General E. Lee did all he did until he got, you know, like not caught. He'd been caught for doing what he did, but then we recognize that this is a wrong thing. We should reform the world.
I mean, I'm just saying that, like, you know, I don't think history is too much of a conversation within this. Is mostly the big idea that I'm getting at.
Right
it's
now,
just
right?
like it's just kind of, this is our present situation.
True.
Like we are just
in the making, though. In the making for like this is not just this year. This is
it's just an ever growing issue with the rise of the internet as we see, and just things like that. Because going back to what I said, it's like back in the day before the internet, like you had Playboys and whatever, but even then those were more difficult to get if you were underage. Any underage kid can watch porn on their phone in a second.
Yeah, like literally milliseconds they can watch that shit.
It's just it's extremely accessible, almost too accessible, and it's kind of like the Wild West. It is. I agree heavily with that, because you're right. Regardless of how hard it was to get those like Hustler magazines or Playboy magazines, that is still, like, compared to that, nowadays it's just literally a click of a button. Yeah,
not even joking. Like, it's just.
Yeah,
I mean, not just
you could probably install a button on your computer to launch Pornhub.
And the funny thing is that, like, not the funny thing, it's not funny at all, but more so, like, it's not even just porn. Like, it's more so just like hate speech, like violence, and the list just goes on and gets worse and worse, you know. And
no, you know, it is kind of funny. Imagine putting that documentary that Brian brought up on Pornhub. Like,
but a lot of people bring that shit on Pornhub, you know. Like, I even see like snippets on Instagram where they'll put like a UFC fight where somebody gets killed, and then, like, say it's like Joe versus Ben, right? And then they'll put it on Pornhub, and say Joe kills Ben in the UFC fight, and they'll put it on Pornhub, and they'll be like, Joe demolishes Ben. You know what I mean? It's almost a joking. Damn, I've included in my notes, but I mean, now Pornhub is working more towards like regulating and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, because, and again, back to Twitter, it's like I know that with them, they used to sort of have people monitor tweets personally, but as soon as they got too big, it was impossible to ever really do that. Similar with Facebook as well, but it's just, I don't know. When you're as big as Pornhub, how do you regulate something like that?
But at that point, do you give in, or do you work harder to regulate? Because I know, like, we have different stance on Elon Musk and like the whole Twitter thing, but take out the name Elon Musk and just say freedom of speech, because at the end of the day, it's not even about this person or that person or like left or right. It's about saying, what do we abide, right? The Bill of Rights and the Constitution, this stuff like that. And when you say things that are broad as freedom of speech, when do you cut those things off? And when you cut those things off, like, are you allowing actual freedom of speech, you know? And when does freedom of speech stop? You know, and I know that then people may be like, oh, but then it's just saying, oh, abortion is illegal now, right? to the states that are leaving it illegal, because Roe versus Wade doesn't illegalize all abortion, but it allows states to make up their minds for which states can allow it, right? But then they're saying like Plessy versus Ferguson and all that stuff, like real issues that may escalate from Roe versus Wade, right? So can't you compare that to freedom of speech and freedom of gun ownership? You know, like there's a level to all that stuff, you know? And I think that people should evaluate that, but they're not. I know abortion is a real issue, and I'm not saying that it isn't. But at what point do we draw the line of saying that, oh, you can't say this no more? And what is that, America anymore, or is that some other country? You know?
Well, I mean, I think that's just a question that we're trying to answer every day in this country, because and it just kind of goes back to the internet and this idea where now, as we move into the Web3 space of the internet, where
metaverse type shit.
Because Web3, because
what is Web3?
Because the idea of like Web3 and whatnot is when the internet first started, we had Web1, which they consider read, where all you could do in the internet was read things, and then Web2 was introduced, where you could read and write, and that's like the age of social media and stuff like that.
Now it's a visual and contact and read and write.
Well, now they're saying Web3 is read, write, and own, because of the fact that you have things like the metaverse and NFTs and crypto, where now you can own parts of the internet.
That sounds like real life.
Well, it is real life.
I know it's never not been real life, but in terms of how can I say, virtuality, right? You can own a piece of a building, but now you can own an AR section of the world. Right.
Yeah, and it's just
even right here, for those that don't know AR that are watching the YouTube, how would you describe AR within this little table?
AR, I mean, AR stands for augmented reality. Yes. So it's just you would put on glasses that augments your reality, and
you would see what isn't actually present. But if everybody was wearing those glasses, it would be present. So I know for those that are listening on Spotify, and go to YouTube, but if you're not, say me and Javi are across this, let's say 2 foot by 2 foot table, right? And in the center, there's this skyscraper. But if we're wearing the glasses, we can see the skyscraper, right? But if everybody in the world was wearing glasses, they would all see the skyscraper, right? So if everybody from here on out was born with AR contacts, all they would see was in front of them AR-wise, right? Life is a simulation. Tell me now.
Well, oof. That definitely b-holes what I was getting at.
OD. I'm just saying that's where we're going towards. This is a crazy conversation.
Now, all I was gonna say was that just in terms of like Web3 and free speech, it's a real questionable thing where we're trying to figure out what that even means in the Web3 space, because again, like we've been bringing up, where do you draw the line of what kind of things can or can't be said? But we are also talking about things heavy, such as rape and and things like that. So it's just there are definitely some things that it's pretty unanimous of like, these shouldn't be out there. But it also, I think it just raises that conversation of like, okay, well, how do you regulate it? And how is there too much regulation? Does it become overwhelming? Because that happened with Twitter before, where they started regulating people's tweets were just getting removed for no reason and stuff. So there is such thing as overregulation. Yeah,
I agree. And overregulation is what I'm worried about the most. If I may say, the article that I just read off of, it's actually by her name is and there's a lot more to the article that I just said to you and to any viewer or anything. Her name is Sheila Kotakar. This article came out June 13th, 2022, and this is a lot more, even to the point where, I mean, it just gets crazy. I'm happy that I didn't include the notes, because then we'd just be going like days and days on about it. And I know this is a sensitive issue. I'm sorry, like, if you thought any jokes were offensive, but if you did, I'm sorry for you. but I've gotten a lot of condensed information about it. But check out the New Yorker for the what's her name again? Did you remember?
No.
Me neither, bro. But I mean, whatever. You could rewind it, and this is her name. But it's a great article. Very long.
You closed the tab that quick?
I did.
Damn.
I did.
No
bro.
respect.
No respect. But it's a very serious article. And I think it was important. I think it's very important because especially what we're going towards, and like we're gonna talk about like nicotine and vapes and regulation of those things and abortion and stuff. And of course we're gonna talk about abortion because I know I make a lot of jokes. You know, we were at the bar the other day. I was making like crazy jokes and all that stuff. But it's important to talk about all these things. Anyway, that was a heavy ass story. I hope I said everything right. I hope that I don't listen to that shit and all you hear is.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
I was good. You understood everything I said?
No, I didn't understand a single word you said. I was just nodding my head the entire time. You know, when you're on a date with someone and you're like you're really uncomfortable because
all you try to do is clap cheeks.
It's like the only thing on your mind because you know you can't watch porn and
hub
and like you just start thinking to yourself, oh man, like. You know, she's just not that into me, and you know, I'm getting really uncomfortable now. All of a sudden, like I can't make any jokes.
You think I'm not that into her yet,
and then all you're thinking is like maybe I just need a drink or two
or 7.
but then you think, or maybe I need like just a couple of hits of my Nick, and I'll be good. But guess what, motherfucker? You can't.
You know why?
I don't know. You tell me.
Juul is banned, bitch, and that's what I'm about to get into right now. I just smoked this PAX. I like the PAX. Sponsored by PAX. Not really. Anyway, my thoughts on the whole Pornhub thing. I think it's very disgusting. I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying towards the end, but now I'm back to normal because marijuana is a beautiful thing. But Javi, say like 5 things.
I'm gonna tell you 5 things. 1, I'm gonna tell you the fact that the Pornhub thing is pretty fucked up. And again, that documentary that Brian brought up that I can't remember the name of. I know it's missing something.
Missing Sarah Silverman?
No. But you guys should definitely check that out.
100%.
2, Brian is no longer here anymore and I miss him. You know, we don't get along too well, he and I, but for some reason I was really digging his vibe while he was here.
Me too. I thought he was gonna save our whole podcast.
I at a certain point I was like, oh man, you know, Earthmine and Brian over here.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
oh, wow.
I like what he has to say, but he just left.
You know, and I might go back to hating him because he left early.
Facts, man.
Like fuck that guy.
He was drinking the Jameson triple distilled from like 1300 whiskey. And then he just left.
Motherfucker just got drunk and left.
Yeah, man.
He didn't even pay you, I bet.
But he will, though. He will. $20, Brian. Now you're hearing this because this is your episode. He'll be like, yo, I'm be on. Oh, Frank, it's $20. But that Pornhub situation, and I'm gonna send it to you later because you asked. And I mean, I think it was a very, very interesting read. It was super long, and the stories within the crevices of the information I told you just get more worse.
What a sentence. Stories of the crevices of information.
I told you. Yeah, man, that's fucking vocabulary right there. I just smoked. Anyway, I don't know. Let's expand on that because I feel like it's something that, like right now, funny enough, people may be pausing the episode and just fucking jerking off, just fucking going off, or like during watching porn, you're like, what? so like,
you know what that reminds me of?
What does that remind you of, man?
Fucking
this looks like an egg yolk. This drink has looked like an egg yolk from the end.
It does look like egg
and
yolk.
I'm so scared of the ending of it. And if you can't see it, go to our YouTube if it matter. But I'm drinking a drink that looks disgusting.
That does look like egg yolk. It does not look
appetizing at all. Anyway, what were you saying?
Fucking Achievement Hunter, my favorite YouTube channel.
Hey, yo.
There's this one of the guys on the team. He used to be a fan of Achievement Hunter.
Oh, nice.
And he once confessed in a video where he was like, you know, I might have like jerked off with like an Achievement Hunter video in the background. And everyone is just kind of like, oh, okay, Jeremy.
You didn't have to tell us that.
Yeah, everyone is just kind of like.
You could have said like, I had my baptism during that, or this and that. But you don't go up to a bunch of grown men and be like, yo, bro, I'm like, my dick was out when I was speaking. I just had to tell you. And they're like, anyway, It's just.
No, but Jeremy's great.
What do you say? What do you say in response?
Well, everyone was just kind of like, yeah, we didn't really need to know that, Jeremy. Like, it's good for you, pal.
I thought it would be like way more shit forward. Yeah, bro. Seriously though, nobody needs to know that shit. No, what I wasn't genuinely surprised, but I always feel that that stuff was overdue. That company is worth so much more. Actually, this I remember the numbers wrong, but I know exactly the situation because this is just a serious and not serious, but also a very interesting conversation to have. But a cannabis brand wanted to buy Pornhub for like more than $100 million, but they were like, nah. And the way the owners and the side business partners like found themselves like in terms of partnership, they were playing in a foosball club. Probably wrong about the foosball, but a certain like thing in college, and they just started up. They were found guilty of a bunch of tax evasion with the premium service thing. It's so interesting, and I don't know why I don't have this in my notes. I feel like a dickhead because when I looked up the response that MindGeek had to what's it called, the Daily Mail, because mind you, fucking you can't write Pornhub in your search thing without I was like what the fuck. Look, but when MindGeek responded, they said a whole bunch of things, and they were kind of like shitting on the New Yorker that wrote the article.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and let's see if I can find it because it wasn't like Daily News or something, but they were saying that they got the information all wrong. And I don't know who to trust, but I feel like the one of the founders of Pornhub, like MindGeek and stuff, their house was caught on fire.
Like recently?
Maybe recently, but in the terms of like now, definitely recently. But in terms of like 300 years.
Obviously. Thank you, Frankie, for narrowing that down.
I gotta get the facts right. You people hate fake news.
It either happened, recently or never.
Fucking, they were saying that they wouldn't put it past like far, and it was fun. It was kind of like strong. They were like, people on the internet are very strong, so you can't ever put anybody aside. But I can't find it. But that's basically what they said, and they were just saying that she's talking mad shit. But I pretty much agree with the New Yorker lady. I'm sure this is not untrue. I'm pretty sure that this is common all the time. Then I think of the Josh Duggar guy, the person in 19 Kids Accounting who was finding a whole bunch of this and that. Again, I'm going to send you the article, but to like kind of surpass this, because it's fucking crazy talk, look it up on the New Yorker. Pornhub accountable. Just look that up. Don't click the links that you don't want to. And just really search into it, because I think that it deserves, at the very least, attention. Yeah. Yeah, man. And yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Man, and we're only that was only the first topic.
I'm so sorry I'm chatting tonight, but it's one of those nights, bro. But that was only the first topic. Anyway, my next topic is nicotine and vapes.
Can't do it no more.
Can't do it no more. Not the Juul at the very least. But you about to find out what the truth is. Anyway, Javi, what is it in cigarettes that causes cancer?
In cigarettes, I wouldn't know.
What would your guess be?
I would say it's probably the tobacco.
Actually, not that you're wrong, but it says, and I'll read it off the bat. Nicotine, a chemical that occurs naturally in the tobacco plant, does not cause cancer.
Okay.
Apparently, the only thing that causes cancer is the highly addictive properties that make it hard for people to quit using cigarettes. Those things produce smoke that can contain harmful constituents that can cause lung cancer and heart disease. Okay. I didn't know that. Before I read the article, I didn't know that. I would have said tobacco if you asked me.
Yeah. The only thing that I do know, because with as much weed as I smoke and stuff, there's a great line from Prince Daddy, actually, where nice. He says something along the lines of like doctor says smoking kills. I hope he just meant cigarettes.
Facts.
And I've kind of looked it up myself in terms of why isn't there much of a correlation of like smoking weed and lung cancer and stuff.
It's the additives to cigarettes and stuff like that.
It's definitely that, and also just like the kind of smoke that's produced from cannabis itself is just not the same from like tobacco smoke, kind of like what you're saying right now. Yeah. So it's just the smoke and stuff, and it and any kind of residue it leaves in your body is naturally detoxes itself.
That's what I've heard the most. Like, so even if there's a whole clunk of it and this and that, like it still will like get rid of it naturally and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, it's not like perfect for your lungs. It's not like smoking cannabis in terms of like whatever form you do it. It's not like you're immune to all smoke, but nicotine and the additives towards nicotine are just so much more worse. So much more worse.
Yeah.
And that we can both
the correlation is there.
Yeah. And I'm going to read you a whole shitload of, and of course you probably know these things, but in terms of cannabis, I mean, athletes smoke cannabis all the time. You know, it's just something they should be allowed to do for what they endure, but also human beings in terms of society and what they endure, just let people smoke weed. You know, that's why my conspiracy, and strictly conspiracy, because I'm not speaking facts here, is that I think that they're lowering the nicotine count to brace people for the THC they're about to legalize nationally.
Did you tell me this already?
No, but it's one of those things that I always think is gonna happen. Like I probably already think.
Nah, I feel like you told me this.
Well then, fuck this podcast. Probably though, to be honest, I probably told you this.
When we were at the bar the other night. Think, Frankie. Think.
You know what it was? It was a Snapple fact on Jameson Triple Distilled Whiskey.
Shut the fuck up.
Fucking, I've been drinking this whiskey with this shitty ass mix for the past hour, and it fucking. So I'm drinking oranges right now. I hate it, but I'm almost done. I'm about to drink the Jameson Triple Distilled Smooth Irish Whiskey made by John Jameson himself, ever since 1780.
You're not gonna keep going.
I mean, how the fuck is it made by him if it was made in 1780?
Yo, man, he made all of it in 1780.
A world's worth.
He made a lifetime's worth in 1780, obviously.
Oh, shout outs to him. Anyway, so we both found out that nicotine isn't what causes the cancer, but it's the highly addictive properties. But what are your thoughts on TH level being governed by the government in the future when it's all nationally legal?
THC levels?
Yeah, because that's gonna happen. I feel that we all predicted it. If you're a pilot, you predicted it. If you're like never have smoked weed, you're like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
bro?
The biggest concern that I've seen from the community and stuff like that is just kind of like don't let weed be controlled like cigarette companies control cigarettes. Yeah, because apparently like the cigarette industry is like super shady and just really gross and stuff.
Yes,
like,
I mean it's always been.
I learned all this like on the Reddit threads, like just going down a fucking rabbit hole.
That's cool as fuck.
And
that's cool as fuck, man.
Fucking
you mean the beehole?
No, it was on Reddit, so I gotta say rabbit hole. Beehole is our thing. All right.
I respect that. We will venue you $10 if you say beehole to us. Not really though. We won't really do that.
Well, what I will say is beehole challenge. Hashtag beehole challenge.
Hashtag beehole challenge.
I want you.
We had the Pornhub. we had the.
We should put our episodes on Pornhub.
Hashtag beehole challenge. They're gonna the monitor is gonna be like, yo, this don't. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, suggest our podcast to any masturbator in the world. Get $70 from Javi himself.
Let's do 7.
Just 7.
Just 7.
Damn, bro, you don't even know what the mistake you're making. If a 10,000 viewer just hit you up for $7, you'd be tight.
I mean, you know, you're not wrong, but you know what? I'm gonna just bet on the fact that
they're not gonna do that.
They're not gonna do that.
When does it expire? The offer?
I'm gonna say it expires
tomorrow.
In 12 days.
Okay, but you gotta pay these motherfuckers that money if it doesn't expire. Oh man, I hope it catches on you just homeless. I don't get it.
That's a pretty awful thing to wish onto someone, Frankie.
Not if it gets the podcast up, then we get paid for the podcast, and you could be homeless for like 10 seconds. And then you're Elon Musk of the Dominican Republic.
Can I fly a rocket out of the DR?
No. We all know Hispanics can get NASA license.
Come on.
Of course you can. Of course you can. You can go to Maduro.
Yeah, bud.
I fucked with the joke. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Maduro. All right. Anyway, the Biden administration said Tuesday it plans to develop a rule requiring tobacco companies to lower nicotine levels. Right? And specifically in cigarettes sold in the United States to minimally or non-addictive levels. They say that in doing this, they would slash smoking-related deaths and threaten a politically powerful industry. So they say, smoking is going to help. And realistically, this whole article and this whole story kind of says the same thing over and over. But then I'll move over to the Juul topics because Juul is kind of a little different from like nicotine cigarettes, like the physical fire and shit. Mm-hmm. So the FDA intends by 2023 in May to develop a proposed standard that would establish a maximum nicotine level in cigarettes and certain finished tobacco products. And the FDA said that its goal is to reduce youth use, addiction, and death. And they said that if they lower the nicotine level, many users that are addicted will have a greater chance to quit, and young people could be prevented from becoming regular smokers, right? So this is kind of stuff like, for sure, right? It makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I kind of agreed with that kind of stance. You say that, right? Like this is kind of like stuff you kind of already assumed.
For the most part, yeah.
And I would agree, but I think that we've heard more so talk in our lifetimes in terms of like physical cigarettes. But when you think of something like Juul, Puff, all these stuff, what do you think about those products and how they promote their products compared to physical cigarettes?
Well, I feel like they definitely promote their products for a younger audience for sure. Definitely for what I've noticed, especially is I this might just be like the concerts that I go to and stuff. But I feel like a lot of like younger people that do smoke cigarettes will smoke like American Spirits and things like that. Like they won't smoke like Camels or Marlboros. Like those are more like classic in terms of like for an
strong
older audience.
Tobacco taste and feel. The only time I smoked an American Spirit, it may have been 2 times. The one time I remember, I was in Puerto Rico and we just picked one off the fucking street and just smoked that shit. But I was too drunk to even taste it.
Bruh.
Yeah, man, it'd be like that. Well, anyway, about 480,000 Americans die of smoking-related causes each year. And tobacco use remains the number 1 cause of preventable death in the U.S. So that's up until 2022. It's not like some like 1902 shit. And this will need to occur. So the lowering of nicotine levels would have to occur in the Biden administration. If it wasn't completed now, it would have to be completed by the next president. Okay. So 2024 could say that the next president would lower it. The next president could also just get rid of it completely. Obama's White House, they didn't want to lower nicotine levels.
No, okay.
But Obama also smoked.
I didn't even know that.
No, wait. You know what? I was doing my notes and shit.
I know there's like the picture like Obama smoking weed and stuff.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like as I was writing my notes, I figured like you knew, but you didn't see the. You see the pic? Oh, I thought you saw the picture, but I thought you didn't know in general that I was gonna pull up the picture.
Yeah, no, I didn't know in general. I've seen the picture and stuff, but Lucas actually uses that picture as his Discord profile.
That's picture. Funny. No way.
Yeah.
Easter egg. You hear Lucas coughing in the background.
Yeah.
He's doing it out of sport, not out of dying. So don't call 911.
He's trying to show me something, but I don't know what he's trying to show me.
He's trying to show you a cigarette.
I think he's trying to show me writing, but I don't know.
Show us, Lucas. Can you say some things on the show, Lucas? We've already had a guest, Brian. If I may say, and I'm gonna just say it because I always do, Lucas Photography. How do you spell on Instagram?
LUCAS.
No, say it to the mic. Say it to
the mic. Shit. LUCAS.MARTINEZ.D.
Complicated, but the best fucking photographer in the fucking world. I swear to God. But what were you saying right now? Oh, are you busy right now? Say one last thing. Say one last thing. If I don't want to enter your voice, I know you say.
Bro. I have to show Javi or something real quick. You know what I'm saying? His brother. Fried as fuck.
Sunday,
bro. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? On the Lord's Day, sometimes you just gotta spark up, bro.
Thank you for sparing your voice, even though I know you're not feeling too good. Check out whatever the fuck he said Instagram-wise, because if you think you ever seen photography better than his, I'll bet you $10,000 you haven't. And Javi would pay for it anyway.
I won't.
But genuinely speaking, I'll send you $1 for every photo you think is better than his. Because I'm gonna just send you the same photo because it's definitely not. It's definitely not. This is the best photographer that I just spoke. You're blessed to have listened. 50 years from now, thank me later. You know what I mean? On some Drake shit. You could thank me now. All right. So Guy Bentley, the director of consumer freedom at the Reason Foundation, a libertarian think tank, criticized the plan. And I said that I agree with this, but what do you think about this? Quote, in practical terms, the proposal would ban most cigarettes currently sold in America. Combined with the Biden administration's proposed ban on menthol cigarettes, this would amount to an effort similar to the prohibition of alcohol in 1920s and will ultimately fail, he said. So this whole initiative that Biden's trying to do is the relaunch of, quote, cancer moonshot, unquote, which aims to reduce the death rate by 50% in 25 years. But what do you think about the comparison to prohibition?
I mean, it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's a drastic comparison, but
at first I thought it was a drastic comparison.
I just because, I don't know, it's kind of vices, but at the same time, it makes me think of what kills more, alcohol or cigarettes.
That's a good ass question. That's a good ass question.
Because then it's just kind of like the lesser of two devils.
Should I Google it?
Yeah, why not?
That's a good ass answer. I didn't even think about what kills more, alcohol or jihad. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Cigarettes, right? Let's see. All right. Well, this is the first thing that popped up. No, but the last said 2016.
Well, what's it say for 2016?
Oh, okay.
The Lord's year.
It said, while drinking can be a health, smoking is certainly worse. Unlike alcohol at low and moderate levels, there is no benefit to tobacco use at any level. When you smoke, you inhale various chemicals that injure cells, causing both cancer and artery damage.
Okay,
that's pretty fair. But I also feel that, like, I mean, it's tough to broadly speak of everybody, right? But alcohol is definitely. I still don't think that cigarettes is worse than alcohol.
You don't think?
Only in the long term, and if it's used as frequently. Like, alcohol is the worst, and sudden.
Well, what about like the idea of like what do they say? Like, one cigarette shaves off like how much of like your lifespan or whatever?
I'm talking about the responsible user, but not only that. I'm saying what are the real like effects of alcohol to a kidney, to cigarettes, to a lung.
Well, I mean, if
I don't know them.
Well, if you're a heavy drinker, like if you fuck up your kidney, you're gonna need a transplant at some point.
Definitely that. But some people that I've known myself personally have had transplants of kidneys, and they've never touched alcohol in their lives. So I think that I hear more people. I mean, I don't even hear of either or. I can't lie. You know, you're right. I think that's. Hold on, let me look at it right now for 2022 because I want to know. Damn, there's no like immediate answer. But you made a good point. Like, what is it the one that actually makes it much worse on the physical body first?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that like smoking is more damaging than alcohol in sort of like a general term or presence. Just because like with alcohol and stuff, it's not as long term.
It's more sudden though. That's what I think. That's why I think like most people when they die of like cigarette inhalation, right? It's not even all of them, but it's some of them. But I feel like a lot of people that use alcohol, they'll have the worst things happen to them in the moment, even despite the age. So I don't know how to differentiate.
Well, I mean, again, it's like even with alcohol, it's like sure you might have some of the worst things happen to you, but I go back to like that idea of what they used to say back in the day of like smoking one cigarette shaves off like a certain amount of like your lifespan. So
I wonder
like,
how accurate that is though. So, but the worst ad I've ever seen in Kaufman is one of a cigarette. It was the most. It was like lungs with a whole bunch of cigarettes poking out of it.
Oh man! Those ads used to be so gross.
You know, it's like what the fuck. But I feel they should be just as hard with alcohol.
I mean,
because there's a lot of shitty stories.
I mean, without a doubt, like they're like, I mean, alcohol should be used responsibly. That's what they say.
And that's what I mean with cigarettes is because what do you deem responsible in terms of a lifestyle where I understand that the reason a lot of people smoke cigarettes is because they work in real harsh cultures of work, you know, like we've worked in, let's say, fast food, right? So that type of harshness is give or take, but there's only extent of what you're responsible of, right? But say you work on Wall Street, or you're not responsible of this little speck of a whole, let's say, like mud trench, right? Like you're responsible of a real thing that impacts a movement of craziness, you know, like Wall Street compared to this and that. So that's why they smoke a lot more, is what I'm trying to say, you know? But when does stress equate? And does stress only equate when you compare what you've experienced? So say you've worked with CEOs and then you're working with burgers. Do you feel the same stress as you should when you've worked with CEOs? I know it's a long, predicament. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we only compare our stress to what we've experienced. So do we take the stress as fast food workers as that the same way CEOs do? Because that's what they know. And that's what we know. Does that make any sense?
I mean, I feel like I can't even argue that because it's just it is what it is.
Because what we know is what we know.
Like there's no denying that. So.
I never thought about that. Like I just thought about that myself right now. If what you know is the highest form of stress, you're gonna stress it at the highest form.
Yeah. So I mean,
interesting.
Because when you put cigarettes into the mix, cigarettes is definitely something that relieves a lot of stress for people, and and even for people who try and quit and things like that, they'll use nicotine patches and shit like that because those chemicals just will ease those nerves and things like that and whatever. And
I've smoked these fucking vapes and I love them. I told you I love them shits, but I stopped for about 2 weeks now, and I feel better, physically, breathingly, and all that stuff, but I still crave them every second.
And I think that's why there's such a conversation about it, because and it goes back to kind of what I was saying before. I feel like with these kind of things like vapes and things like that and Juuls and whatever, it's for a younger audience, like people our age and younger, especially people younger. And
you're absolutely right.
And I think it even kind of relates to our Pornhub conversation of the accessibility of it.
Yes.
Because
I was thinking the same exact thing. Not to cut you off, but I was thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah, because kids way younger than us are fucking smoking Juuls in the bathroom of their high schools and middle schools.
Just like it was hard to access a Playboy magazine or Hustle magazine, and how it was easy to access porn, all those websites. Before it was harder to access cigarettes, and now you can just go to any deli that would just be with it to sell you it and get this colorful ass fruity ass tasting vape, and they'll give it to you, and it's more.
I got mango.
Oh, this is one thing I didn't put. So Twinkies, please, if you listen to this, you're a real one. I don't remember half the thing I'm saying. I do though. But Twinkies released some new cakes. They're not called Twinkies. They're called $Twink coins.
$Twink coins?
Yeah, and a lot of people are reading them as stink coins, but the whole point of them doing what they're doing was to be relevant in the crypto world, even though it's...
Bruh.
Oh, it's just funny. I don't know. Just look it up. When I read the whole article, I was like, damn, this sucks. But then, you know what the end of the article said?
What?
You can buy Twink coins at Walmart whenever you want. Click this link to buy some. I'm like, this is an ad. I got.
At the end of the article, some fucking guy jumped out of your phone. It's like, bam, you just fucking got Frankie.
And I'm like, can I get 3 packs of Twink coins, Twink coins?
Can we get a fan to send us some Twink coins?
Please, I hope. Fans, send us anything you want. P.O. Box. Fill in blank right
420.
420. It goes to fucking Guantanamo Bay. Do you believe in Area 51? Damn, this is a B-hole episode. We gotta put the topics and then B-hole episode. This is a B-hole episode. It's a good one though. I didn't slack on the topics. Thank God, because if I did, I would have been chatting.
I don't know if I believe in Area 51. I don't feel like strongly either which way about it. I'm just
not the popular belief of it, right? Not these like crazy animals. Wait, I got a video that I want to show you, but it's over there of that worm that can spit out a white tongue and then it extends like roots for like in terms of worm a foot long.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Check that shit out. Then reevaluate what you gotta say. The sea is a crazy thing. But the sea creatures are aliens.
I mean, we like still like 70% of the ocean is undiscovered.
That's what I mean. Like, what is aliens if we haven't even discovered our own turf?
I mean, it's like that conspiracy of maybe there are aliens in the sea and stuff, and like they just crashed like way deep and stuff.
I've always thought about that aliens visit us when we need them most, like pyramids.
Pyramids. I've definitely heard of that one of like aliens during the pyramids time, but I'm always like, I don't know, man. Like,
it's just pyramids, right? It's not even a big deal. It's more so like
I feel like
somebody could have had perfect vision. You know what I mean? Like they considered a lot of math, and there's a structure where it was like parallel lines of statues cut with the roof, and how like the further you go, it looks symmetrical, and they built it that way, even though when you approach it closely, it isn't symmetrical. Mm-hmm. But what if somebody was like, "Yo, bro, like from over here." It looks symmetrical, and from over there, like no math involved.
I mean, it's computer geeks who know, it's like PC gamers would know this. It's kind of a anti-aliasing where like what you're describing of how like the further you are
perspective, right?
The further you are, the smoother it is. Yeah. Anti-aliasing in gaming and stuff is because since with pixels and stuff, since pixels are screens, you can't ever have an actual diagonal line.
It's always straight to you.
It's always just like a staircase essentially, because it's a diagonal line, but it can't ever be diagonal because pixels are square. So
they're never slanted.
Yeah, they're never slanted. So anti-aliasing is there to try and smooth that out as much as possible.
It's like facial recognition, but humanly.
Well, it's not facial recognition. It's just like
you know what I'm talking about. Like people always try to make faces out of what they see. Not like Siri. Like I'm talking more like when it comes to like human in general. Like when we exist, and like even like chimpanzees and stuff. One of the things that separates the chimpanzees from from lower life forms is the ability to recognize a face.
Oh well, it has nothing to do with like faces or anything. It's just like. Any structure? Line, just like lines and stuff, just any line is like that's diagonal. Anti-aliasing makes it straight, and think of that with the pyramids of just like how it's a diagonal thing, but the further you are away from it, it looks more straight. And I just had that in mind.
Hey, I'm sorry to cut you off so many goddamn times.
I feel like it's kind of going over your head
a little, but
it's okay.
But when I'm sober, you're gonna explain it to me, and I'll just pretend I know what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. No, but actually, fuck it. Where if it matter, let's get this right. So it's a straight face to you, right? But it can never go diagonal.
Well, it has nothing to do with faces.
Okay, but whatever is facing you.
Well, no, okay.
I'm listening to the whole hunchback. Tell me.
The audience is like, Jesus Christ.
Yo, facts. They're like, this episode doesn't suck that much, actually. Okay, tell me again.
Okay, so anti-aliasing. When you are looking at a screen, you got pixels, right?
Okay.
Pixels are square.
The very small things that make up the whole thing.
Yes, pixels are square. They're no other shape.
All right.
So when there's a diagonal line on the screen.
How you say they're square, but they're no other shape?
They're just square. What do you mean?
Like you said, but the square is a shape.
Meaning like they're no other shape.
They're bits of the entirety.
They're no other shape than square is what I'm saying. Okay. So when you see a diagonal line on a screen, it looks smooth, right? And it's because for two reasons. Anti-aliasing, which is a software tech that basically just smooths out that line.
It makes the illusion of diagonal.
An illusion of making it look diagonally. And then the second thing is a pixel density. Because each
one is further back than the other?
Well, each screen will have a certain amount of pixels in it. And so the more pixels on a screen...
the further back it is.
Well, in a sense that like...
but like not realistically, but like illusionally.
Yeah, because like the more pixels there are, the smaller those squares will be, and the smaller those squares are...
because there's so much more of it.
Yeah, the smaller those squares are, the smoother it'll just look.
And that's what creates the illusion of diagonal.
Yes.
But Okay, so can we delete all the dumb shit I said and just put this part in because I sounded pretty smart. But I finally understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. It's just my dumb answers. Anyway, back to smoking. You make that choice, Javi. You edit the audio. But I understand you now for real.
Okay.
Like, like about when I see something ugly, I'm gonna be like, the pixels and nice, man. Thank you for bearing with me on that last listening session because now I dead ass understand what you're saying. The 2009 Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act gave the FDA, Food Drug Administration, the authority to regulate cigarettes, right? Including cutting nicotine to minimally and non-addictive levels. And under the law, FDA may have not banned cigarettes or reduced nicotine levels to 0. So all it's allowed to do is set product standards that dictate components, ingredients, additives, and nicotine yields for cigarettes if those standards are needed to protect the public health. I know that sounds like a whole bunch of jumble, but they can only cut down as long as they can prove that it will benefit the health of people in comparison to how much they're smoking and getting cancer and stuff like that, right? Now, again, right here, the prohibition argument is used, and I didn't even think about it, but it's true. That prohibition, when you think of it as a concept, is pretty much happening in cigarettes if they get rid of menthol cigarettes and lower nicotine levels.
Yeah, again, I don't know if I got this point across earlier, but just like with the prohibition stuff, we are definitely coming close to it in terms of for cigarettes and stuff. But
everything. I mean, we're already at it with like psychedelics and cocaine.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt.
Technically speaking, right?
So it's just an interesting conversation to have where
because prohibition means take away.
Yeah, pretty much.
So with cocaine and like MDMA and all these other drugs, they've never taken away per se. I mean, I guess they have when they re-regulated it and criminalized it, but in modern days they haven't taken it away. They've just already illegalized it, so we can't deem them prohibitional things or what? Historically we can.
Yeah.
Right.
So
interesting.
So who knows? We might see a pretty near future where like cigarettes might actually be like we might have a new prohibition era of cigarettes, and
they were saying that it would just promote sales of illegal cigarettes in the black market.
I could see that.
Yeah, people buy anything, right? They buy capybaras and shit. Well, anyway, to continue this article, now I'm gonna talk about Juul and vapes. Because at first the article was kind of like, it's kind of been the same song and dance. Oh shit, that's a good expression. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody heard that in a while, but it used to be very famous. That article was on, I think, the New York Times or the Daily News. But this article I'm reading, and the first one, New Yorker. I kind of want to credit these articles as soon as we read them because it's important, credibility. But this one is on the Guardian, and this was written by Catherine Gammon about Juuls and vapes, right? So this week, because this was written the 26th is Sunday on June 2022. Did you understand me?
Nah, you kind of.
I just
you definitely just went. Yeah, it's June 2022.
June 26, 2022. The United States effectively banned the brand Juul. You ever smoke a Juul?
Nah.
I've loved the Juul. It's so nice. But I stopped smoking it. I haven't smoked it for a long time, and I won't. But I smoke other vape products, and I just stopped, like I told you, because it's so bad for you. So, but I love it. So, this week, the U.S. officially banned Juul after the FDA ordered that e-cigarette makers they ordered them to remove their popular products from the marketplace, right? And the reason is that in 2020, the FDA ordered mint and juice flavored e-cigarette pods of Juul to get out of here. And I tried the mango one, and it was ridiculous. The first time and this is not even me saying this to like
with the mango one, they're like, this crosses the fucking line.
Man, I sat down, and that's when I was smoking a whole bunch of weed. Like I'm talking like again, like Bryson dabs, blunts, all that stuff, like collectively or ounce a day, But when I smoked the Juul for the first time, I was at work in the back office by the computer in Brooklyn, and I smoked it, and I sat down, and I was like, this is ridiculous. But then I kept smoking it, and I was like, my armpits stink now. And you only get that feeling like when you stop using it every day, but you want to smoke it the whole day. So for anybody that's listening to this and they're like, yeah, stop smoking that shit. That shit is bad for you. OD bad for you. I'm gonna say that it's so bad for you. Weed is the best thing in the world.
I would say so.
Yeah, man. Like, there's no comparison. Like, I'm not gonna advocate for that shit. Yes, it feels great, but weed is just smoke some weed. Just smoke a blunt, and then compare it, and then you're like, oh wait, weed is fantastic. That's what I gotta say. So, the reason that this escalated is because regulators said Juul failed to provide sufficient evidence to assess their toxicity and hazards of the tobacco and menthol flavored e-cigarettes. And they left the FDA unable to assess the potential toxicological risk of using the Juul.
Okay.
So they're basically saying like, yo, you're not proving to us that this is a better alternative or anything, right? And like Juul says, they said that their products help with quitting smoking, and they stopped the ban for a bit because Juul was appealing now. So I'm assuming that if they know they're gonna lose, they're just selling off all their shit before, like buy the dip. So this is why I wanted to bring this up, because this is what makes it more interesting. Other brands like Juul, Views, Logic, and Enjoy, spelled NJOY, have received market authorization for various tobacco e-flavored cigarettes and systems, but Juul was denied.
Why?
Let me tell you now. Before I tell you, I'll say that the research shows that bans of flavored cigarettes make a difference. A 2020 study of George Mason University analyzed that in 2009, FDA flavored cigarette ban reduced 43% of young adults smoking by 27%.
Okay.
So it lowered that shit completely. And this is why I go back to what you said. Why, right? Why haven't the other brands been banned?
Mm-hmm.
A federal survey found that Juul was only the fourth most popular product among middle and high school students, and that basically what's more popular is ones that are disposable, aka the puff bar, and fucking Views and Smog were the second or third most popular. So Juul was in the bottom of the list. They're the only ones that got denied.
That's so interesting,
right? So this article is saying that like this younger generation will just move on to one to the other, because not only is it just more appealing to them because of colors and flavors, which is like a cigarette just tastes nasty to some people. A cigarette I think tastes fantastic, but if you go to like vapes, you could find like cotton candy, Imperium. You could find like a green apple, stove, apple pie, like all these flavors.
Just like stove.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You ever eat a burnt piece of food? It's delicious.
Is that what you think a stove tastes like?
Yeah, man. Better need it from the stove. That shit is good.
I'm thinking about it. You're like, yeah, because I'm like, what the fuck?
Both. Anyway, you ever had a Cuban sandwich?
Yeah.
I don't like pickles though.
What? Really?
I'm alright with them. I don't hate them as much as I used to. But there are some pickles that I'm like, and some pickles that I'm like, I don't mind you being there.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
What happened to Bill Cosby recently? He had to pay her, right?
I think so.
But he had to go to jail?
I don't remember. Me neither.
Anyway. Cuban sandwiches next time. We got some Cuban sandwiches with some bread. Again, so Juul is the fourth most popular vape, and the other ones are View, Smok, and Puff Bar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Puff Bar. Now, the people that are younger, I guess than us, because we're old fucks compared to today's day and age, they prefer the $10 disposable vape, and I do too. That can't. They aren't banned, but they're exactly similar or literally the same technology as Juul.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds to me so far that Juul is just the scapegoat for all these other vape products. You know?
I mean, it kind of makes me think of like Uber and Lyft in a sense, where a lot of people will just kind of remotely just say Uber, even though it like Uber's better, or they'll call the Lyft.
But
and
it's because of brand.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like they'll call like a Lyft and Uber.
I've always felt that way,
because Uber was sort of first to market. Juuls were sort of first to market.
And Lyft kind of like built off Uber. And at first Lyft was less expensive. I saw what I remember.
Yeah.
Then they kind of became very priced. And now when you check your Uber and it's too expensive, what do?
You check Lyft,
right? So and they know that. I feel like we think we know that because like they're not personally interfering into our lives, but algorithmically, that's where they do.
But for a lot of people, it doesn't work that way because for a lot of people, they just think Uber. That came first. Uber,
like McDonald's,
like they
or Nike. Those brands.
So because like I think of like people say like my aunt who like I'm sure doesn't really check Lyft or anything that like just kind of knows
calls
like
the taxi service because that's what my family does. We used to just call the taxi service.
Some people still do that, and so it's just like it's to kind of keep those to keep that in consideration and stuff. It's like Juul's first to market, so when you think of like vapes and stuff, you think of Juul.
Maybe people find it more cash saving to like buy pods for the Juul you earn rather than buy the whole thing entirely, like maybe as quick as you can smoke it, but I don't know. I don't know. Just I think it's escapable, but you make a lot of good points in terms of that, because now that makes a lot of fucking sense.
I mean, because I don't really think it matters too much that they might not be number one, but it's like it's a step in that direction.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure this is only the beginning of these sorts of things happening in this space. So
that's why I compare it to THC regulation, because I feel that as soon as they lower nicotine, I'm gonna finish this thought. As soon as they like lower nicotine regulations, they're gonna start to like limit the brands or like at least put them out of business. There's a guy, a boxer, who promotes e-cigarette that has no like nicotine or anything else. I can't find it, but look up the boxer Devin Haney smoking product, because he's a boxer, right? So why would he promote like nicotine?
Mm-hmm.
But every time he boxes, he always puts up a post where he's like, hey, smoke this because it's the best thing for you. It has no nicotine. It has no this and that. I can't find it. But I'll put it up in the supplementary, I guess, or something. I wish I could find it, but that's it. That's good, because why do people smoke in general? To get the smoke out their mouths. Just to like fucking this and that. And then they settle for the feeling, I guess.
I mean, feeling's more important to me than just a smoke.
But I'm saying people who smoke nicotine compared to marijuana, though.
Well, when you were just saying smoking, I thought you just meant in general, because it's like I was even thinking of like hookah, because some people do like to just smoke for the smoke of it.
I like hookah. I don't think it's the worst thing, but then like when I hear the rumors, because I don't know if it's true, about hookah being like a 2 packs of cigarettes or something like that. I don't know how true that is.
Well, there's definitely tobacco, like a good 100%. Amount of tobacco in hookah. Yeah. Like I don't know what like the ratio might like is per se or anything like that, but I mean, people like I would say like hookah is definitely a thing where people just smoke just for the smoke of it.
Have you ever seen the South Park episode? Oh, by the way, it's Black Smoke.
Black Smoke.
It's called Black Smoke, BLAKK Smoke on Instagram, no spaces. It says no nicotine, no tobacco, and he says in his own post, "This is such a healthy alternative to doing hookah. All my fellow athletes and friends that love hookah, thank me later." I just suggest it's interesting to look up.
It's interesting. Is he racist or is he not? Because he says black with 3 Ks.
Does he? No way. He is black himself, though. This is the motherfucker promoting it.
He definitely looks like a hype beast.
Yeah, he just won like undisputed belts, but he's alright. Yeah, he might be the best in the world, but he's in there. Look at him. He's
good for him.
This podcast. What were we saying though about before the sorry?
I don't know, man.
Me neither. I'll finish this up though. The newest this is something you've probably seen on like your ads, but the newest trend in like vaping is ones that are not marketed as e-cigarettes. So basically saying that you can smoke melatonin or vitamins. You ever seen that?
Like for like sleep or whatever.
Yeah. And they say, actually it's funny because I just showed you that, right? That's hilarious. I just showed you I didn't think about that.
What'd you just show me?
Like the one that he's promoting that has no nicotine tobacco. Well, basically these are saying that they don't have any of those things, but they make you feel better and fall asleep faster, right? But basically these are really just vaping devices disguised. Companies that are not required to state the concentration of what is in these products. So, like kind of saying like, hey, like we're all healthy and stuff, but we're not really that healthy, you know? And so people are saying that these products present a whole new level of risk, you know? And I got 3 more little bullet points for this. Basically saying that things like Juul, they lower athletic and academic performance as well as injuring lungs. It also increases the heart rate and blood pressure. And that Juul figured out how to make nicotine more potent to hit the brain, allowing for a greater sense of pleasure from using the vape.
Okay.
So they kind of like really manipulated the brain, you know, and they really manipulated how kids feel. And there's a whole center of figuring out kid addiction compared to, when I say kid, I say like up to 17 compared to like full blown adult addiction. So because that study is so recent, the Biden administration is kind of trying to figure it out. But in that time of figuring out, how many people will die compared to what they're saying they want to save. So that conversation is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that can be said for a lot of things. Like how many more people got to die until this?
You gotta save, right?
Until this is solved or whatever.
I think about that. That's kind of sad thing about like the diseases and stuff right there.
Yeah,
right? Or even like COVID.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would. I'm definitely not a fan of like nicotine and e-vapes and cigarettes or anything like that.
I am, but I kind of agree with this article, and I'm probably gonna agree with what you say. But let me agree until you say it.
No, I mean, I just I definitely feel like to me, this is just kind of like sort of a step in the right direction to really combat a greater problem that's happening especially in our country, but which is, I'm sure, a global issue for sure. But you know, I kind of hate being one of those politicians in that sense of like speaking of like for the kids, but it's like
smokers.
But like honestly, a lot of kids are getting fucked up by this shit, and it's like it's not right,
and it's not fair because you know, as much as I do enjoy like participating in all these stuff like vapes and stuff like that, I do like them. But you're right, like just like you would show a little baby like a colored toy, and they were like, "Oh, this looks cool because it's shiny." You make those vaping devices more appealing, like a childlike mind or like color or flavor. You know, like, hey, do you want to smoke this nicotine cigarette? No, thank you. Do you want to smoke cotton candy, blueberry, fun dreams? Oh, that sounds pretty good. Because realistically, what does it sound like? Weed. Yeah. Strawberry cough, you know, green crack, you know, blue dreams. Like, these are all strains, right? So, I mean, I still think marijuana is way better than would be nicotine and all this stuff, but that's still schematic in some sense. We kind of just undermine it because it seems that everybody smoking weed is responsible, but there's a lot of kids under 10 smoking weed that shouldn't be. Yeah. And that fucks up their psyche.
I mean, I think, I think that's kind of why they're trying to regulate weed to be like alcohol of like, you need to be 21 in states where it's legal.
But even then, people who are 21 be fools. Like secondhand smoke, it's a whole different thing.
Without a doubt. But I just mean like they've definitely have kept that in mind.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're smoking right now, cool. If you're Pornhub right now, cool. Just kidding. Don't let us know.
If you're doing both at the same time, super cool.
Super cool. Ultra cool. And so my last topic is, and these have been long topics. Thank you for speaking with me, Javi. You're the best. I got my last story.
Okay.
And this is abortion, basically. And it's just, I figured, and I was really thinking, like, how can we talk about this without being too repetitive and too this or that? Because I didn't want to be, because I feel we all know the basics or have the urge to look within the basics, right? But all I did was look up some facts and some stories about some people who have had abortions, right? Okay. And the consequences of not being able to receive one. So I'm going to just read them off the bat, because I feel that's the best way to handle this. In Sierra Leone, which is a song by Frank Ocean, great ass song. But in Sierra Leone, reduced access to reproductive health care is estimated to have caused at least as many deaths as Ebola itself in Sierra Leone. Not only were women and girls unable to access life-saving services, they needed them more than ever. There was a sharp rise in sexual violence during the Ebola crisis, while school closure contributed to an increase in teenage pregnancies. So that's in Sierra Leone, because I couldn't say that right here. Now, Globally, 1 in 4 pregnancies ends in abortion. And restrictive laws mean not everyone is able to access this procedure safely. Every year, an estimated 22 women die from an unsafe abortion.
How many?
22,000.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to just spoil it now. In my later research, it's way more. This article is written in 2020. This article should be like 2021, 2022. Now, the evidence shows that when there are barriers to accessing contraception and safe abortion, maternal mortality rate rises. This includes death during childbirth, and death after seeking unsafe abortions. And this is really interesting because all these lawmakers say what they will because what they want to say. An economic model estimates that every $1 spent on preventing unintended pregnancy reduces the cost of pregnancy-related care by $2.20. So
by $2.20 what?
$2.20.
Oh, okay.
So for every $1, spent on preventing, you could have saved $2.20 on allowing abortions and stuff. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization estimates that the annual cost of treating major complications from unsafe abortions, meaning if you had one and you had complications and unsafe abortion, it cost the U.S. $553 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, for just not letting people do what they were going to do regardless, right? And this is, I'm going to reiterate it back again because this information is crucial and I don't want to fuck it up. Many factors influence or necessitate a woman's decision to not have an abortion. They include, but not are limited to, contraception failure, barriers to contraceptive use and access, rape, incest, intimate partner violence, fetal anomalies, illness during pregnancy, and exposure to teratogenic medications, right? Teratogenic medication I'll discuss later. But what's more important to realize is that pregnancy complications, including placental abruption, bleeding from placenta previa, preeclampsia or eclampsia, and cardiac or renal conditions may be so severe that abortion is the only measure to preserve a woman's health or save her life. So when people say abortion is healthcare, just, that they're not considering that at all. We know where we live. And now, I'm going to talk about some lady called Sherry Wheeler.
Sherry Wheeler. Okay.
I'm going to give 2 things before that. But basically, this is a quote from the article. When abortion is illegal or highly restricted, women resort to unsafe means, which I know you know, to end unwanted pregnancies, including self-inflicted abdominal and bodily trauma, ingestion of dangerous chemicals, self-medication with a variety of drugs, and reliance on unqualified abortion providers. Basically saying, like, if you want to get rid of your kid and you can't depend on healthcare, you're going to do it yourself in a variety of mannerisms, which is dangerous to yourself. And now this is why I said the number changed, because now approximately 21 million women around the world obtain unsafe, illegal abortions each year. 21 million.
It's a lot.
And complications from these unsafe procedures account for approximately 13% of all maternal deaths, nearly 50,000 annually.
50,000?
Yeah. So the number went up. So now Shirley Wheeler is a quick one. She's somebody that I don't think we know. We know the words Roe versus Wade more than her name. Have you ever heard of her?
I mean, I think if you remember when you first, when it first came out, the leak and stuff, when you first sent it to me, I actually couldn't even remember what Roe versus Wade was.
Oh, me neither. And I figured that, and I knew I should have looked up what Roe versus Wade was. I guess that's your job for next episode. But we lead up to Roe versus Wade, and here with Shirley Wheeler, right? And this is a pretty straight to the simple point. She was the first woman to be arrested for getting an abortion in 1970. Basically, she paid $150 to get an abortion and developed complications, right? When they found this out, they asked her to name the person who aborted her baby, and she was like, nah. And they arrested her for manslaughter.
Oh, wow.
She faced 20 years in prison, right? But instead, after the jury, which was 3 men, 3 women, she was sentenced to 2 years probation, and the conditions were that she had to legally marry Robert Wheeler, the person she'd been living with for 3.5 years. Or she was to move to North Carolina and be with her family. and she was to avoid, quote, injurious or vicious actions. And what she felt, she was like, I'm not free to go anywhere without permission. I'm like a child.
What year was this?
1970.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's not far ago. And she said, basically the Florida Supreme Court, where she was prosecuted, found that the criminal abortion law was unconstitutional there.
Okay.
So they were like, chill the fuck out. And her conviction was overturned in 1972. But that's 2 years of living that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Then in Roe versus Wade in 1973, it was decided that legalizing abortions was was okay and good. So they allowed it in 1973. We'll be hearing next week about Roe versus Wade because I didn't look it up. This is just so much information about this or that. It's not really, but it's one of those things where I kind of wanted to get it across because I hope people listen to the beginning of what I said, and at least one person is just like, oh, I don't know that like people actually needed abortions for medical reasons. Mm-hmm. Despite your thoughts on life and this and that, it still should be pro-choice. But I hope you heard that, hey, like you can risk the life of the mother, or not even that. Just who cares? Let them do what the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
Yeah, I definitely think that for some people, they definitely think that like, oh, you would abort your child, like you have no care for like a baby's life or something like that. When in reality, it's like what you just said, and sometimes it could actually be the mother's life at stake for this pregnancy to go through. That's
what happened with some other lady that I'll go into real quick. But basically, what she was trying to say is that I think she had been one of them had been raped or something like this. But the doctor told her, I don't think this has to do with the rape though. But the doctor told one of the Sherrys, not Sherry Wheeler, the other one, that her baby was gonna be like medically flawed, right?
Okay.
And then she wanted to abort it, but there was only laws protecting mothers who would be injured by the pregnancy, not laws for killing aborting a fetus that would be affected medically when they were born. Does that make any sense?
So, repeat that to me one more time.
Basically, that if a mother gave birth to a defective baby and she could have prevented it, that's illegal. But if the baby's birth process was going to kill the mother, they could have aborted it.
Okay.
Because if the danger was presented to the mom, abortion's okay. If danger is presented to the kid, like mental disability or not, and they want to abort it, that's not okay.
Okay.
Get me? And her name was Shirley as well. And she tried to go to Japan, but Japan was
Shirley.
Sherry, sorry. And it was in 1962. And she tried to go to Japan, but they were like, nah, you can't come through. And she had to go to Sweden to get the abortion. And yeah, I mean, this is some other Sherry story compared to the Shirley. I just think these are two stories that I saw the news articles today, but they're important. And the reason I want to bring it up is for these last 2 points. In general, these laws created by anti-abortionists have been used to justify the arrest of 1,200 plus women who have had or attempted to have an abortion. So, what I meant to say is these dumbass hoes have been causing people to get arrested for making their own choice for their own bodies, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
And the lady who got arrested, Shirley Wheeler, said, I don't claim to know everything about legalizing abortion, but I am proof of what will happen if you have an illegal one. So again, this article is very interesting to look at because this is when anti-abortionists were saying that like, oh, we won't do anything to you if you have an illegal abortion, but they arrested somebody and faced her for manslaughter.
Yeah.
And forced her to get married because she had an illegal abortion. Shirley Wheeler.
I'm so surprised that like that's not being talked about more.
The article was today. I'll send you both of them today because these articles. I mean, I was reading them today, all day today, bro. articles. But these were pretty important to me. And aside from the cheese, motherfucker, which I do think is a creep, but these were all pretty relevant and important. But I didn't want to like not go hard. I know this is probably a long ass episode. I don't even know. But yeah, man, the Shirley Wheeler person is not talked about. I was gonna say that I've never heard about her in any of my teachings in school.
Yeah,
never has she been brought up. So it's interesting.
School's got to catch up.
They also got a mustard.
I hate you.
Know what I mean? Anyway, now we're finally up to the A.M.C section.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, we're gonna skip. We have some more conversation about the Shirley Wheeler.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're just gonna leave it off like that. Damn.
No. I just did it. I'm sorry. I just did it.
The nerve of this guy and his driving eyeballs. Get a load of this guy. Wow.
Should we look up the gist of Roe versus Wade right now?
I see what's like the first top like Google search, because I'm sure like a couple sentences will suffice.
I'm gonna look up Roe versus Wade explained. Perfect. So in Roe versus Wade 410 U.S. 113 in 1973, it was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States generally protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion. So we learned nothing because that's all we knew right now. I want to know. I really should have looked it up. That's my fault, because I know today I was like,
I should have taken a history class.
Yeah, me too, man. Because I don't know, but maybe hold on.
That's what I get for hating history.
Oh, hold on. I think I found it.
Oh my god. The Da Vinci Code.
Let's see. No, that's too much to read right now. Just know that they reversed that shit right now. Maybe we'll include it. Maybe Javi will take time out of his day editing and look up all of Roe versus Wade word to word and explain it to you in a whole day.
And this episode's coming out at 6 a.m. What up? It's your boy Javi Reyes. This episode didn't come out at 6 a.m. and I got the facts of Roe v. Wade real quick. This lawsuit was filed in 1970, establishing a constitutional right to an abortion in the U.S. Jane Roe was a pseudonym for Norva McCorvey, who was 22, unmarried, unemployed, and pregnant for the third time in 1969 in Texas. Henry Wade was the district attorney of Dallas County, Texas at the time. McCurvey's team, aka Roe's team, argued Texas law was unconstitutionally vague and violated her constitutionally protected right to personal privacy. The question before the court was, does the Constitution recognize a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy by abortion? Ultimately, the court said yes in 1973 with a 7-2 majority opinion. Justices held that a woman's right to an abortion was implicit in the right to privacy protected by the 14th Amendment, so they divided pregnancy into 3 trimesters. The first trimester, you had the absolute right to an abortion that was between you and your doctor. In the second trimester, the government could regulate an abortion dependent if the woman's life was at stake. And in the third trimester, the government could completely outlaw that abortion for the sake of the fetus. But again, if the mother's life was at stake, then they'd be able to get the abortion still. And those are the facts, my guys. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
So maybe Javi will just care about you. I don't work tomorrow, so Gucci. No, it's a very serious situation, and I praise everybody for doing what they gotta do. I joke a whole lot, and I make a whole bunch of like ridiculous shit. Even at the bar the other day when it was overturned, I was making a whole bunch of jokes and stuff like that. No negative one, just only positivity. But for me, it's arguable. Of course. For me, it truly is like I've never cared for what you do on this planet. Like, to me, you may say him or her this, that. I say human, earth, live your life and do what the fuck you want. You know, just don't hurt people and criminally do things. Right? This is not the whole thing, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I would just kind of say similar sentiments of just kind of pro-choice. Yeah. I definitely would love to see more people learn about what's her name again?
Shirley Wheeler.
Shirley Wheeler.
And not only her, but just even not Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm so sorry. That's the Jeffrey Epstein pedophile bitch. The lady who helped. God damn it! Give me 2 seconds. What's her name?
It's been more than 2 seconds, motherfucker.
What's her name? Well, she was the U.S. judge who they put crowns over her heads. But it's not Ghislaine Maxwell. I can't believe I remember. No. Ruth Ginsburg.
Ruth Ginsburg?
Yes, there we go, right? Ginsburg? Yes, it is. No, not, yeah. Yes, she was the one who help overturn something, abortion or something like that. What is it? I'm right here, Wikipedia. I just fucked that up. OD. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was an American lawyer and jurist who served as an associate justice of the Supreme Court of the U.S. from 1933 to 2020 when she died. And she was nominated by Bill Clinton and replaced Byron White. Why does it not say what she did for abortion? Because I don't know what she did. But she's very famous. You never heard of her?
I've definitely heard of her. I'm awful of history, dude.
Yeah, well, basically it says she dominates on abortion. That's what it says right here, word for word. But yeah, I mean, like, be one on her. Like, you know, if you don't know who Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, neither do we. But look her up. And if you're hearing this now, you want to know, look her up. You make a lot of pro-abortion people proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think on that note, we can go to the A.M.C. section. And we're back.
We're back after this whole time of just chatting.
We're back, but we're not black.
We're not black. We are a descendant of black.
I'm just Jack.
And I'm just Craig.
Nice.
And that's actually what Jackson stands for. They're distilled.
Yeah. They just put a little bit of crack in every bottle of Jameson.
The whole episode, I'm gonna put a big bottle of Jameson just to represent alcoholism. But we're at the A.M.C. section. This week is movies. And this week, and what's up?
So last week we did albums.
We did albums. Turnstile Glow On.
We did Turnstile Glow On.
Super fucking good. Great album. Super fucking good. 10 out of 10. My opinion. Live with it, bitch.
But yeah, I mean, other movies that we've looked at like American History X. We've looked at Lamb. We've
what else? I forget, but I know we've done a lot already.
I'm trying to think of I feel like for some reason I feel like movies are the ones that we've done the least.
But we haven't. Technically, it's one of them though. It has to be one of them technically. But we've done a lot of movies. Damn, I can't think of anything. Cause like if you say albums,
The
Warriors, that's a great. We should revisit that. Not like as an A.M.C. section, but maybe like that's a great movie. Damn, not Lonely Heart Club Band. That's a fucking album.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to remember the movies for some reason.
I wonder why.
Like I can remember the comics and the albums pretty well. Whiplash.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, we go.
I think that might have been one of my favorite A.M.Cs, to be honest with you. That was surprising, man. I was home, and right before we shot, I was like, I'm watching this real quick, and I was like, it's so good. So good. Lamb was weird, too.
Lamb was a fucking weird movie.
But in light of Lightyear, ooh, good little joke. You know, when I was going to watch Lightyear, I was telling Beatrice, I was like, I hope that when they put the movie on, it just shows Toy Story. You know, and that's our A.M.C. section. It is Toy Story, the
Looking
first
at
one.
Toy Story.
And literally before we came here today, I watched it again right before we got here. That's what took me a little long, but also because Lightyear's coming out, and all respect to Lightyear, and we had a whole conversation about it like beforehand for that. $300. We discussed it, and I think it was pretty funny how we discussed it, you know. And what I really cared about was actually Toy Story, though. Yeah, that was the movie that was exciting me the most, you know. So that's, I don't know why I sound so disappointed. I sound pretty like upset, right?
Dude, you just sound really focused. Yeah. You just sound really high. That's it. It's okay.
I'm high as fuck. It's because of the PAX episode. I was trying. Oh, I didn't even fucking, bro. You know what I was gonna read the whole time?
What?
My dumb ass. So before this, and we could put this in the A.M.C. section, I made Javi smoke from the packs, right? Mm-hmm. But I also smoke from the packs. So I'm pretty high. But the funny thing is that I'm gonna read this timeline to you, okay? I completely forgot to tell you. In 2004, there were two Stanford graduate students, Adam Bowen and James Monzies, right?
Okay.
Guess what they created?
Weed.
They created a cigarette alternative while on smoke break. Both of them developed the e-cigarette Plume, and later one created the discreet cannabis vape device, the PAX, which we just smoked out of.
Yeah.
Right? They renamed their company PAX Labs. Right? That was in 2005 to 2015. Mm-hmm. In 2015 to 2017, Juul is launched out of parent company PAX Labs.
Oh, wow.
Right? 2 years later, Juul spins out as an independent company and begins a period of rapid growth. Right? In 2018, a Juul craze sweeps the nation, and Morgan Stanley credits Juul with single-handedly reviving the e-cigarette market. Right? They reach 72% share up from 31% a year earlier. Now, in 2018, the U.S. FDA announces investigation into underage sales of Juul products amid growing youth use, and U.S. middle and high school e-cigarette usage nearly doubled to 5 million kids throughout the year. 2018.
Wow.
And then in 2018, they got rid of all the mango, creme brulee, and cucumber flavors in Juul. The cucumber was good as fuck, but the mango was the strongest one you could ever get. That was the strongest flavor. Oh my god, it was so good. And in 2020, they reviewed all the e-cigarette products on the market, and the Juul share in terms of stocks plummeted 42%.
Wow.
In 2020. And today they blocked the Juul from the U.S. market after reviewing its 125,000 page application. Their rivals Views and Android will be permitted to stay in the market as like I told you earlier, the FDA is saying. That's crazy though, right? Because that's why I asked you to smoke the packs today, because I wanted to say, like, I like the packs a lot. And the reason I don't like it now compared to when I used to smoke a whole bunch of weed, but before I smoked the ridiculous amount of weed for no fucking reason, I tried the packs once. This is only when I smoked weed like a couple of times. I tried the packs and I took a pull, and back then that shit was like a whole blunt. Like I took 2 pulls and I was like, bro, what? And then I smoked dabs and blunts and joints back to back, and I was like, oh, remember the mask NYC? Like but before all that bullshit, like I was smoking this twice, and I was like, this is crazy. This is the invention of the future. And now, because I don't smoke as much weed, when I smoke the packs too, I feel great. I feel like 1-2 pulls. Like right now, I'm high as fuck, but it's descending, thankfully, because that's the beauty of weed. Not alcohol though. But it's interesting. And Shirley Wheeler.
No, man, what an episode.
It's a historic episode for the internet. It's like one of those things when you think of the internet, it just goes into the black hole of the universe. It just floats. And some motherfucker's gonna be there listening. I know you can't see audio, but they're gonna be like, it's gonna be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Am I high?
I thought they were talking about Toy Story. Which is a great movie.
Yes.
A great movie, man. I was watching that on the way here. And when I got out of work, I got out at 6, right? So I walked from Williamsburg to basically the end of LIC, the end of Greenpoint. And I just walked. But I was watching the movie on my phone as I was walking, and I was just laughing out loud. Again, we're talking about Toy Story. This movie's funny as fuck.
I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
Yeah, man.
But definitely there are a lot of like jokes that are definitely more adult oriented for sure. I'm just kind of like, this is like, this works for
Mr.
like
Potato
all
was
ages.
my shit, man. Mr. Potato, I didn't realize how underrated this character was, man.
Oh, I always loved Mr. Potato Head, but the one joke that really surprised me that I saw was when he takes his lips and he
his head is
his
Slinky. And then Slinky's like, we never let us down before. And he's just like, I have that written down. That's also funny that I have when his face is all jumbled up because he got slammed to the wall, and he's like, look, I'm Picasso.
Yeah.
And then I have the joke, and I'm not gonna go through this like that. I have a couple of things to say. But when Mary Her Little Lambs, when Woody, like in the beginning,
Bo.
she was like, Bo, and then like, Andy saved Woody saved the lambs.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm just a couple blocks away, and then they show the toy blocks.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, I write here literally. I wrote Mr. Potato putting his lips to his ass, kiss ass when Slinky defends Woody. And then, if I may say this, Mr. Potato does a cross on his body.
He does a cross on his body. Yeah, I don't remember that.
He does a Catholic cross, and it's because they're hoping that the presents weren't new presents replacements. And he does, and I wrote the most controversial potato ever. And we're running through this movie because like this movie was so good, and I'm probably gonna go home tonight, smoke more weed, drink more, and watch the movie with Beatrice because it's so. I'm gonna wake her up like at the turnstile, like wake the fuck up. We're watching Toy Story right now because it's so good, and I'm gonna run through like the little parts. He does the cross in his body. It's so funny. I hope I can send you the fucking. But then, okay, for people who have watched the movie, right? What's the basis before they get lost?
Well, I mean,
if you ever watch the story, can you go watch that shit right now and then come back to this video?
I mean, fucking, it's Toy Story. Like it's just the idea of like your toys are alive when you're not looking, and it's a classic, and
it's too of a classic.
It's one of Pixar's earliest films, if I remember correctly. I think it was like I think it was their first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll get into that more, but it basically was their first major one that was done through the technology, like computers and shit like that.
Yeah, so it made a big deal when it first came out for sure, and something that surprised me is how short the movie is.
81 minutes.
I was so surprised. I was like, wow, like it just flows. It just goes like nothing. It's
so quick. That's why I watched it when I was out there, like before I got here. Like, yeah, I was definitely gonna be able to be on time, but I just was chatting with the motherfucker that was, this and that. But I was watching it in the bar by myself. First of all, watching it in the bar, weird as fuck. Like watching Toy Story in a bar.
You probably look like a creep.
Yeah, that's why everybody passed. I was like, let me put this away from now real quick. I was like, this is weird. But I was genuinely laughing out loud the whole time. I was not only in the bar, but also like as I was walking down Greenpoint to the train, I just was laughing like a little kid, and I thought that was so funny. That this movie really made me feel that. It was a fun time, and basically this movie is of toys again, like Javi said, that come to life when their owner is not looking, the kid owner. But then one of the most popular toys gets kind of overplaced popularity wise from the owner, Buzz Lightyear to Woody. Which is like Woody's a cowboy guy, Buzz Lightyear's a space ranger, and Buzz Lightyear's a more futuristic, popular person, aka Lightyear, that came out a month ago or some shit.
Yeah, and just like it just kind of like a newer toy.
Yeah.
Because he's got like all the buttons and he's got wings.
And he's like from the future.
He's got like the comms thing.
Yeah, man. And this is actually pretty cool, man, because I think I said this earlier in the episode. I recently listened to Mike Judge, who created Beavis and Butthead, with the Joe Rogan episode. And in the morning, he just talked. I was listening in the morning, and the way he talked about creating animation and stuff is just so interesting. Just because he made a animation that everybody loves, even if you notice it a little bit. Like he created a movie, Idiocracy, but Beavis and Butthead, we all know and love, and it's just one of those minds where he talks like this. He just kind of talks like this. But he created an animation that goes, going Hollywood. You ever watch Beavis Butthead? It's just the funniest
like some
shit.
episodes, yeah.
I love that show. And they're like, they just headbang and like, what is it? Breaking the law. Breaking the law. But he talks like this. He kind of communicates like this and just says things like this. And it's like, how does a person like that create breaking the law? But back to Toy Story, bunch of toys, rebellious, and then the people who they were jealous of one another, or not even that. Woody was jealous of Buzz, and Buzz is like, I'm just trying to be a space ranger.
Real quick, do you have it on your notes anywhere about Joss Whedon being like one of the screenplay writers to this?
No, I have everything but that.
Because I saw his
Who's Joss Whedon again?
Joss Whedon. He's another like problematic person at Warner Bros. In DC.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So that's why I was like curious about it, because I was like, is this like the same Joss Whedon?
I'm about to look it up and then talk about it later. Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
but he was in Toy Story.
I saw Joss Whedon get credited for screenplay, like with like 2 or 3 other names. But I was just super curious. Also, I saw Andrew Stanton's name there.
Okay.
That's a name that I'm recognizing in Stranger Things as well. So it's just, people are, they still working in the business.
I gotta check out both. Oh yes. What you're talking about is he played Stinky Pete Josh Whedon, from what I see right here, right? But I think it's Josh Whedon's. Oh, Josh Whedon. Right? WHEO.
Joss Whedon.
He played Stinky Pete, which is like some old Hucklebuck kind of like
in the second one.
And then he was in a box, and they turn it over, and he's like, man, mind you, he's like some like whole like redneck, not to be offensive, whatever, guy with a big beard, and he's with like 2 Barbie dolls and like, you know, short dresses, and he's like, you know, I'll get you in Toy Story 3. Yeah. And Toy Story 2 quietly removed that scene from the thing because of Harvey Weinstein and stuff. But I watched it today and it was funny as fuck, man. I'm not, you know, obviously like saying like this is a correct thing, but it was funny, man. I'm gonna send it to you. I wanted to show you now actually because but I didn't save the video because I was like I can explain it good. But it was funny as fuck and they got rid of it. So I don't think if you watch it on Disney Plus you probably can't see it. But it's still part of some deleted scenes.
Okay.
But
yeah, I mean, with Toy Story, fucking Woody gets replaced by Buzz. And Woody is he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
he's kind of an asshole.
That's what I put. I was like, because I have a couple of fun facts coming up, but one of them is saying that they were supposed to make Woody like an asshole, and it's like, did they not do that in this movie? Because he's a dickhead the whole movie.
Yeah, he's
the whole movie.
Like, talk about fucking toxic. Like, my God, like it's pretty ridiculous.
Stupid ridiculous, bro. This guy's an asshole. Like, it's like, what are their standards back then? This is not an asshole.
Andy's mine. Like, hey, yo, like, calm down, buddy. Like,
chill, Josh Duggar. But they go, like, he tries to sabotage Buzz Lightyear before they go into the gas station to the Pizza Palace, right? Pizza Planet. Basically, Andy only can bring one toy, and Woody's like, I'm gonna sabotage Buzz Lightyear, bitch ass, and I'm gonna go to Pizza Planet, but they end up both going, you know. But what hit me is that when Andy left both of them behind, Woody yells, I'm a lost toy. And I was like, damn, that hit my feels, you know?
You know what I also thought about when that happened? Well, 2 things. Also, on their license plate, it says A113, which is just a number that you see in all the Pixar movies.
No way.
If I remember correctly, I think it's like the number of like their studio or something like that.
Okay.
But I could be wrong, but I know the A113 is a consistent thing through like Pixar movies.
But they have it as an Easter egg?
Yeah. But also Pizza Planet truck is in every Pixar movie as well.
No way.
Yeah. So it started with Toy Story, but you see the Pizza Planet truck in every Pixar movie.
That's dope as fuck.
But the other thing that I thought about when that scene happened with Woody being like, I'm a lost toy, was that at a certain point in Toy Story 3, they start using the internet to like start navigating like the outside world.
That's interesting.
And so it's definitely one of those things where the movie kind of dates itself because without technology, yeah, they really were lost. Because you think about, even for a person, not even a toy, like back then, like you leave someone who doesn't know how to drive just out in the middle of nowhere, like back in the, what year did this come out again?
1990. Let me tell you right now. Say some shit.
Like then the late 90s or whatever, early 2000s, like that person's gonna be fucking lost. Like they're not gonna know where to go.
It came out in 1995.
95.
That's fucking crazy.
So it also another thing that I'm thinking about too that is also like, I guess, a little dated in terms of the movie is the animation. I guess just because like, you know, it's remarkable for its time. But we've just been so spoiled with present day Pixar, like just watching Lightyear.
Even Lightyear was beautifully animated, but I also feel that when I was watching like Toy Story on my phone, I was kind of just like, this is so pretty good too. Like it's
like
only if you were trying to really like pinpoint specific details of like real.
It was mostly just like some of the like things were like a little jarring, like the smiles and things like that, and like the way people kind of move is just so like
that's 2 of the fun facts. You know, actually, so that's why nobody in the film had long hair.
Oh,
nobody in the film of Toy Story had long hair because they couldn't do it. They
They
were just
couldn't
like,
animate it.
they were like, this is just way. And nowadays it's just so. Even in Lightyear, his hair flickers in the wind so specifically.
I know for Brave, they literally had a whole team that was just in charge of her hair.
That's also why his father wasn't in the movie, because it saved more money not including his father.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy? So everything you just said is pretty much why these things happen in the movie.
Yeah,
it's so interesting.
I always just thought that she was a single mom.
Yeah, I mean, even if that was
like,
the intention, represent, but it could be. It could also be just that, like, hey, let's just let it be up to them. But why the fuck not? Just we can't afford it anyway. So let me read off the thing. All 4 of the films of Toy Story have a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 3 and 4 have 100%. Even the first one has 100%, I think so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I may be wrong, but I saw that. 3 and 4 of Toy Story sit in the top 3 of Pixar's films gross earnings in the worldwide box office, according to the numbers. It's 81 minutes long, but it took 4 years to fully animate and polish. It was Pixar's first full-length film. Since Toy Story was their first full-length film, the original Pixar, quote, brain trust, unquote, included 5 directors, animators, and writers unofficially assigned to ensure quality and creativity for the project. And they were required to work very closely with Disney to make sure the film was on point story-wise.
Okay.
Right? This is crazy to me. The original script of Toy Story was far darker than the final product. Closer to being rated R than PG.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's rated G even.
It's rated G. And at the end of the first presentation, Disney executives were appalled and completely halted production of the film. They basically gave Pixar an ultimatum. They said, if you can't come up with a better script, this movie's not going to come out. That's crazy. How do you spell canceled?
Cancelled. There's
2 ways to spell it. There's 2 ways to spell it.
2 ways to spell it?
You can also spell it CANCELED.
Wait, say it again?
However you spelled it with 1 less L.
Oh, really?
Yeah, swear to God.
Okay.
Nice. Swear. Oh, no, it's true.
Okay.
Toy Story, and like you were saying earlier with the facial expressions, it was the first computer animation feature film in 1995.
Yeah.
Ever. It earned
with the power of Apple.
Power of Christ. Oh, I don't know. Power of Apple, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Damn, that's cool.
Yeah. Steve Jobs technically owns
bought Pixar, right? Some shit like that,
or founded Pixar.
It's crazy. Toy Story earned $362 million in the worldwide box office. And the next year after, they were nominated for Best Original Song, which basically the Best Original Song, Best Original Score, and Best Original Screenplay, according to Pixar. And in 1997, Walt Disney Studios agreed to produce 5 more movies in coordination with Pixar over the next decade. That's crazy.
So we're gonna get a Toy Story 5?
Probably. They want that money, man.
It's pretty crazy.
This is what you just said. And Disney deleted a scene from Toy Story 2 that includes Stinky Pete in a gag reel flirtatiously talking to 2 Barbie dolls. No harm, no foul, right? That's what it says right here. I'm not saying. But the problem arises when he tells them he'll get them a role in Toy Story 3. Obviously, the hashtag #MeToo movement highlighted just how grimy folks thought the joke was, and Disney pretty proactive in removing it from all versions of the flick, although it still lives on in some after-credit bloopers.
Okay.
And that's just pretty funny.
I remember the after-credit bloopers from the second one. Those are funny.
I watched it today in the morning, as I was walking here, and I was laughing my ass off. 1 Million Moms, the protest group, was outraged for Toy Story 4. They saw 2 women drop off a young girl at a daycare center, and the 2 women gave her a hug. And they were like, a lesbian couple was raising a child together. They wrote that the scene was, quote, dangerous, end quote, and tells parents that they might be blindsided by Disney's, quote, subtle but obvious promotion of the LGBTQ lifestyle.
Wow.
1 million moms, 1 million cunts. You know, that's fucking ridiculous. I mean, that's pretty much what I got from the movie. I have more, but it's just like all I thought was fucking ridiculous fun facts. I also looked at controversies. That was pretty much the only controversy I could find.
Okay.
Like people bitching for no reason. But I wanted to bring up is that everybody that watched Toy Story knows Sid, that bitch ass motherfucker who tortured toys. They wanted to bring his toys to actual stores.
Okay.
But it didn't.
No one wanted it.
But I think today they would buy it.
Without a doubt.
Today they would buy it, right?
Without a doubt.
But they didn't. Back then it wasn't profitable. They also have who you think was supposed to voice Buzz Lightyear?
Remind me again. It was Tim Allen that does his voice.
I think so. Tom Hanks did Woody and Tim Allen did Buzz Lightyear, right? Now, who was supposed to do it but declined it was Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
And what do you think Billy Crystal voiced?
I'm gonna fucking say Flintstones.
Mike from Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy? I thought that was John Goodman. No, Mike Wazowski is Billy Crystal, right? Mike Wazowski?
I'm not sure.
Because Mike Wazowski is that, and then the Sully was the blue guy.
Sully's a blue one.
That's John Goodman. John Goodman's a legend.
John Goodman's a good one.
Yeah, man, he's a
good man.
Yeah. And this is my other fact. There's a reason why all the characters have short hair because of the early production. This is pretty interesting. Woody and Buzz are based on real toys.
Oh, okay.
According to John Lasseter, the film's director, Woody and Buzz were loosely based on toys from his own childhood. A Casper doll with the pull string like Woody, and then later a G.I. Joe doll, which were very popular and was the model for Buzz Lightyear. That's dope, right? Influence. Like you said, it's the shortest Toy Story movie, 81 minutes. It made the most money that year, several $100 million. Let's see. It only took a day to write, "You got a friend in me."
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, man. It's fucking easy.
Randy Newman's a legend.
Even in my notes, I wrote, Randy Newman sounds hilarious. But he's a legend.
You got a friend in me.
I was going to say, you do a good-ass impersonation. But right here it says, the famous song, which is heard again in later films, only took songwriter Randy Newman a day to write. This song was nominated for multiple awards. It lost to Pocahontas, though. Native Americans stealing.
I was gonna say like Pocahontas winning that. It's like a Disney movie lost to a Disney movie. It's like Obama putting the medal on himself. Yeah. It's like, oh no, you lost. Like
I didn't even think about that. Perhaps the most memorable version of the song is when Wheezy the Penguin comes in at the end of the second film, accompanied by backup singer Barbies. Apparently, I mean, all these movies are good. It was Pixar's first feature film. Rotten Tomatoes basically said that this movie is perfect, 100% for the first one, and then they just kept giving it good things. Woody was supposed to be a ventriloquist dummy.
Okay,
he was supposed to be.
I could kind of see it.
Kind of, right? It says early drafts saw Woody as a ventriloquist dummy who leads the toys in rebellion, and there's a prototype model which shows exactly how Puppet Woody was meant to look. Apparently, with his slack jaw and drooping eyes, he was considered too creepy. Can't think why. That's what this photo is creepy as fuck. I know motherfuckers can't see. We could put it up video. Oh shit, this photo is creepy as fuck.
Is that what like an idea of what he's supposed to look like?
I don't think this is just a creepy photo. But
okay.
This shit is creepy as fuck.
And those kind of dummies are always kind of a little creepy.
Hell yeah! Look up Duncan Trussell. He did some shit like that. Tom Hanks' voice brother does the voice of Woody sometimes for like movies and stuff.
Okay.
It says basically Andy's dad was too mean. Mrs. Potato Head is not in the first Toy Story, even though Mr. Potato Head is hilarious.
Yeah.
It was based on the animated short Toy Story called Tin Toy, and Tin Toy is only 5 minutes long, but it has nothing to really do with Toy Story. It they say it inspired that, and they also could have made Toy Story into a musical. They were thinking about that. I would have been tight.
Why?
Because I like the movie as it is. Then I got like 5 facts outside of those facts. In different countries, Toy Story 2 sounds different.
What do you mean?
In Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear sings in front of a flag.
Okay.
But in other countries, he sings a song that's called let's see. One World anthem in front of fireworks instead of a flag.
Okay.
To not like promote US, I guess.
Makes sense.
You know the bear from Toy Story 4?
Lotso?
Yeah. Which, first of all, I didn't think Toy Story 4 was that good. I was like, whatever. And Toy Story 3 was whatever.
Wait. The bear from Toy Story 4?
Yeah, the pink one.
The pink one?
Lotso.
I thought that was Toy Story 3.
Or either one. I didn't care for either one of them. I didn't care.
No, yeah, that was Toy Story 3. Toy Story 4 was the little girl.
Yeah, both of them were right.
I thought Toy Story 3 was pretty good. Yeah, Toy Story 4 I thought was all right.
The other day, Toy Story 4 hit me, and Toy Story hit me, and I got really emotional. Even though I haven't watched it in Mel.
I remember when I saw Toy Story 3 in theaters with my friends. There was like two grown adults, like, because at the time I'm just like in middle school, so these dudes were like, I don't know, in their late 20s, and when all the toys are in the fucking trash compactor thing and it looks like they're all about to die, all you hear is and I look over and this
like, shut the fuck up, pussy.
and this dude's just fucking sobbing. I'm like, damn, man.
That was me in Lightyear, bro. For those that can't see, in Lightyear, when that bitch died, the Hawthorne, I was like, and then when the office was empty, I told you, the kid was like, she died. And I was like, shut up.
No, she didn't. You're lying.
Yeah. She lives through her daughter. No, I was sad as fuck. Those movies are sad. But I don't know. And when I was watching Toy Story 3 and 4, and it hit me in the moment. But literally, like last week, I was thinking about it because I was going to watch the movie. And I got real emotional. I was like, why is this hitting me right now? This shit is sad as fuck.
You're in the middle of work like, oh, God. It's hitting me.
And they're like, can I go out here? I'm like, no. Do you not understand what Andy went through? He grew up and shit.
Like, come on, that shit was pretty fucking sad watching him play with his toys one last time.
Nah, whatever. I like Toy Story 1 better. Basically, the Lotso bear, what is Lotto?
Lotso.
He was sued.
Oh.
He was sued because in 2014, they sued Disney by a New Jersey company, Lisa Industries. And they were saying that by selling Lotso Bear for a Toy Story, it had been since 1995. It argued that their ability to market their own product was substantially affected by Toy Story 3. So I guess they've been selling since 1995, but when Toy Story picked it up, they were like, "Yo, you're taking a lot of sales." And Lotso Hugs before Toy Story licensed the quote hugging technology end quote.
Hugging tech.
Yeah. And so they got sued. I don't know what happened in the end, but that's just kind of hilarious how they're like, let me get some money. In Toy Story 3, the animation team shaved their heads.
Why?
They just did it for a fresh start. That's pretty much. The fuck? Like, I'm not even gonna read it, but they just pretty much did it for a fresh start, and they were like, "Oh, my wife didn't like it," but they just did it to just think new.
Okay. This
is crazy. A computer error almost erased Toy Story 2 from history.
Yeah.
You read that, right?
Yeah, I know about that one.
I'm going to just read it just for the listeners. It says, as we've written about previously, Toy Story 2 faced a pretty major hurdle when a stray computer command entered by an anonymous mischief maker deleted 90% of the work done on the film a year before it was scheduled to come out. What an asshole. Why would you do that? Because the movie sucks. And then the film,
look at what I can do.
Delete. The film's technical director, Galen Sussman, the GOAT, had a copy of the film that she'd been working on from home, and disaster was averted. So shout out to Galen Sussman, the GOAT. And let's see. Let's see. Damn. Do you know Jessie from Toy Story 2?
Yeah.
She was supposed to be a Mexican woman.
I can see it.
And her name was supposed to be Senorita Cactus, who was to sway Woody with her feminine swear. I texted Beatrice that, and she was like, that would have been nice. She was like, stereotypical, but that would have been nice.
Yeah, like I could see them pulling it off.
Yeah, but this is a cool character, though.
Yeah.
White eyes and shit. Anyway, my last fact is that 27 animators worked in the film using 400 computer models to animate the characters. Each character was first either created out of clay or modeled from a computer drawn diagram before reaching the computer animated design.
Nice.
And they fuck with Sid for life at the end of the movie when they talk to him as toy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, like where we left off with like how the movie plays out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a short movie. Like Buzz, Woody, they get lost. They
try to find themselves back.
They go to Pizza Planet. I really like the little I really like the little moment where they're in the soda cup and the like burger thing, and like a Buzz bumps into Woody and he turns the straw at him and he's like, "Hey, watch where you're going," and Buzz like flaps the thing. He's like, "Sorry," and it's just like that just tickled me.
The puns tickled me, man. The puns tickled me so much. Everything, man. The Picasso, I'm just a couple blocks away. All that stuff, man. It was like when Woody went up to the Etch-a-Sketch and he's like, draw, and the Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
drew.
Oh, you know which one I like too? When Woody was like, there are some words that I can't use because they're in front of preschool toys in front here. And it's just like it's just pretty clever.
Yeah, man. And like I think even with the hint of today's day and age, not to like shit so much on today's age, but some of those jokes may have been like, okay, let's shield away from that and this and that. But even like Bo, right? Bo, when she met Buzz Lightyear, she was like, "Oh, and now I know my moving buddy," even though she loved Woody. And it's like today, I think they would be like, "Oh, let's not do that because we don't want to implicate."
Bo's not a hoe.
Yeah, Bo's. Boats and hoes. You ever seen Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Good ass movie. Speaking of Pornhub, remember when he walked in, he's like, "Why are you sweaty?" He was like, "I was watching Cops."
I don't remember that.
It's Will Ferrell on the couch, and then what's the guy's name? The funny guy with the curly hair.
John Riley.
John Riley. And he walks into the house, and then he sees Will Ferrell laying on the couch, mad sweaty. He's like, "Hey," and the TV's on. He's like, "Why are you sweaty?" And Will Ferrell was like, "I was watching Cops."
Stupid.
So boats and hoes.
They fucking. That's where we get introduced to the aliens. I almost forgot that they were introduced in this one for a second. I thought they got introduced in the second one.
Oh no, but me too, because you confused the pizza scene for the second to the first, right? Mm-hmm. But it was the first and the claw
and they get taken over to Sid's place.
Yeah.
And also when they're getting pulled out of the claw machine and like the aliens are like, "No, he must go. He's been chosen."
That was so creepy.
And Woody's like, "You bunch of zealots." Like,
I didn't remember that. That's funny as fuck.
Like, it's just shit like that. It's just like no kid would understand that. I
don't mean to sound old like this, but they don't make them like that anymore, man. They really don't. I mean, they do. I really like Socks and Lightyear. I was gonna cover Lightyear a little, but you know what? We already talked about Lightyear.
Yeah.
But Toy Story is it has a special place in the world.
Yeah.
It's so good, man. Immediately as I was watching it, like before I got here, I was like, "This is such a good movie." And even watching it, bro, I was like, "I'm a creepy motherfucker," but I'm genuinely enjoying this just because it's so good. It never fails to just cheer you up and take you into this little realm. And the music's so innocent, the visuals so great, and the jokes are just still funny.
Yeah,
and man, it's awesome, bro.
Yeah, and the fact that it's like you said 81 minutes?
81 minutes, exactly.
Yeah, the fact that it's that short, it just flows. It goes by so quick. Yeah. Like you just enjoy every second of it.
It feels way longer.
Oh, I didn't even feel like that. I felt its length like completely. I was just like, this definitely feels like a short movie, but I wasn't complaining because it's like it said just it did what it needed to do.
Unlike Lightyear, who had, like you said, no idea. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing with that shit.
Yeah, that one is just kind of a little like
I think a little like Easter egg for Lightyear compared to Toy Story is that when Buzz Lightyear got into Andy's bed, he was like, "It seems a little unstable," and I'm pretty sure in Lightyear when they landed on the planet, they were like, "This planet is unstable." So I was trying to like really cut back to a lot of references.
He also said something about like crystalline something.
I have the answer to save the planet. That's what I saw. Like when he was talking to Woody, he was like, "I have the answer. Only I know what's able to save the planet."
Yeah, he was saying that, but there was another moment where he was asking them like, "Oh, so like, are you guys this advanced? Like, do you know how to do like crystallize something or whatever?" So I was like,
when he was shooting Woody with the laser, and he was like, beep, 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 beep. And he was like, "What are you gonna do? Bling me to death?"
No, it's just the line always sticks in my head, like even from a kid, when they're under the truck and Woody's just like, "You are a toy." It's just like the delivery of those lines are so good.
That's what I want to say. How the fuck they knew they were toys though? How did Woody know he was a toy? I guess we'll never find out the answer. But that's pretty existential.
Yeah,
of them. Are we toys?
I mean, Buzz gets pretty existential himself in this movie because
he says, "I'm just depressed, I'm a little depressed."
Yeah, because they get taken back to Sid's place, and Sid starts torturing them a bit, and they're trying to figure out how to escape. Yeah. And Buzz, I also thought it was so funny how everyone thought that Woody murdered Buzz, and how Mr. Potato Head was like, "Are you taking stupid pills today?" Like.
Mr. Potato Head is goated for the rest of his life, but that's the funniest motherfucker ever, bro. That shit was so... He threw out Woody off the bar.
Yeah. That shit is just so funny how like they were just like
taking stupid pills.
How they were just not believing in him for like the life of him.
Man, what the fuck? I feel like this is why I wanted to bring this movie. We usually bring up a lot of like crazy movies and shit and just real hardcore topics, but Toy Story is one of those things where even if you wanted to find controversy, you can't. Yeah. It's one of those pure movies that are
actually I think Toy Story sort of glorifies
actually I don't think there's a lot of diversity in Toy Story. I think everybody is a white man, especially the I don't want to say pig because then it sounds terrible. I don't know. I mean, not fuck that, the pig. I think blocks are square, and we're not trying to promote anything but straight.
Nah, I'll tell you something that bothers me though about that movie. You want to know what? Sid
Sid is a little piece of shit.
That little fucking
piece
of shit. God.
But I think the toys did him dirtier. So basically saying like, you treat your toys right, or they'll make you have mental health conditions and turn you to a garbage man.
He's fine. He's a garbage man. He's living his best life.
Oh, as long as you have a good money, mental health is whatever.
Yeah, he's good. He's chilling.
And they say money don't make you happy. Nah, he's a little piece of shit. But when Woody turned his head around, he was like, "We know everything." Yeah. And then I was like, I don't know if this is worth it.
What do you mean?
Like you fucking toys are making these people mentally unstable. What if they're the least cost, the depression?
Dude, they gotta get back to Andy. Andy's more important, okay, Frankie?
Andy's a psychotic motherfucker, bro. Andy is
he's going to college, all right? He's living his best life. Don't talk shit about Andy.
Fuck Andy.
Andy's probably still a virgin.
Hashtag fuck Andy. No, Andy fucked his toys.
Hey, yo.
Conspiracy theory number 1.
Oh my God.
Just think about it, bro.
That's like the one thing they all don't want to talk about.
Bo was like, and she got stuck, surprised, and Andy was like, "Oh, Bo's mouth is oh." Anyway, this was Earth, Mind, and Matter, one of the most interesting episodes in the world.
Yeah, it was definitely something.
What do we do today, Javi?
Yeah, man, we talked about what's going on the Earth.
We talked about what's going on in the minds,
and this is why it mattered.
This is Earth,
Mind,
and Matter. Good morning, good evening, good night.
Talk to you soon.